Hey, are we online?
Cats are freaking out.
Cats are loving it.
Hey, I just got my notification.
I guess we're online. I'm going to go feed them cats.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up!
Hey, that was good timing.
Holy shit.
Shut the fuck up. Boy, we are early.
We sure are.
Friends.
Romans.
What? No.
Countrymen.
No. They're all asleep. It's too late now over
Oh.
there. Actually, no. They're only about 6 hours ahead. They might still be awake.
Some night owls. Tweet.
Oh, you did get that. Oh, shit. I closed that window. I closed that damn window. I tried to refresh, and I hit close.
Speaking of closing, let me close this door so that this mechanical lady does not hear us.
Okay.
I'm not going to say her name.
What, Siri?
Nah. She ain't listening. Well, she might be listening.
Is she listening? I hear her.
She's probably listening on all our phones right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this live stream is from last week. Why is it doing this?
This live stream from last week.
BJ's here and he's not.
I just freaked out because my YouTube thing says purchases 206. I was like, the fuck?
I did that the other day.
And then I realized that, my Movies Anywhere has...
walk around right now.
What?
My thing is trying to tell me to walk around right now. I
Oh.
can't. I'm making a podcast.
Wait, well, you got a bonus thing there.
Yeah, I got two things.
What's that thing?
Huh?
Is that Fitbit?
It is a Fitbit.
Yeah,
You got Fitbit?
he got one like mine.
You
Is
got
this the
Fitbit?
same kind?
Yeah.
An Aspire?
Oh, you got Fitbit.
I don't know.
Huh.
What-
I think yours is fatter.
What does the Fitbit do that the Apple Watch does not?
Work on a company's stupid fucking fitness tracking thing that we have to do.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Mine is, I believe, a Charge 2 is the type I have.
Ah. Yeah, I went cheap.
Hey, Bill's here.
Bill's here.
Hey, Bill.
Man, I thought we were gonna get like all different people, and it's all the same people.
Well.
Well, wheels of fire.
Huh. Someone want to post to the Discord?
Sure, I'll post
I
it.
have a feeling if I try to go to Discord on this thing, it'll poof.
Oh,
Poof.
It'll just poof away,
Yeah.
huh?
This tab I still have open for IMDb just says most popular nipples.
Most popular nipples. Well,
Yeah, it's gonna be that kind of show, you guys.
so
Number
one.
Number one. Let's see. Number one, True Detective.
all right, checks out.
Most popular
That checks out.
nipples. True Detective.
Yeah,
That checks out. Season 1.
Yeah.
episode 2.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know the episode number?
I did, maybe.
All right.
13-minute mark.
I do not know the minute mark. I just know it's episode 2, and then I just scrub.
You scrabble it.
Yes.
We don't want no scrubs.
Yeah.
Just scrub through that video, and okay.
What's number 2?
Number 2 is The Wolf of Wall Street.
All right.
I don't think they're ranked by nipple popularity. I think they're ranked by IMDb popularity.
They're ranked by how many times people have scrubbed that scene.
Yeah, if
and
it's a
rewatched.
VHS, how wobbly does the video
Yeah.
get?
Yeah.
Tracking goes out right here.
Yeah.
Number 3? Number 3.
Number 3, American Beauty.
Creepy nipples.
Mm-hmm.
I'm creepy nipples.
Then it's Police Academy and American I don't know. These rankings don't make any sense.
All right, so that's just by popularity of movie.
I
Or
guess.
show, I guess.
How many people have said, yes, there are nipples in that?
Yes. How many confirmed nipples are there?
The fuck?
Nipple confirmed. Check.
We should do that podcast.
Nipple confirmed.
Yeah.
Check.
We're here watching for all the nipples. This movie has nipples.
Well, didn't somebody tell us, like, Mr. Skin has a podcast? And it's like, what are you going to talk about, Mr. Skin?
Gross.
Just rate the nudity that you found?
Coming up after the break, 1 hour 32 minutes of this movie. All right. Next week, we'll be talking where to scrub in this video.
Hey, we're talking Glenn Close today. You guys remember her from the 80s, right? She has nipples, and they're visible at this point. Right in. Like, rate, and subscribe.
This is both a nipple and a flub. Because as you'll see, on this camera shot, there's nipples. On this, they're covered. On this, there's nipples.
Oh, so you want like the goofs and the nipples?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're talking Glenn Close and Fatal Attraction, there is actually a double both goof and nipple thing.
Double
See,
both
I'm already ready
goof.
for this cast. This is already in here.
We should do this.
We absolutely should not. I'm just going to veto you now. Absolutely not.
Check out our new podcast, Goofy Nipples.
Absolutely not.
An extremely goofy nipple.
I hereby disbar you from doing that podcast.
Fine. Fine.
I'm sorry.
Great, I won't do Goofy Nipples.
How would you rate the goofiness, though?
It's not rating the goofiness. It has to be both a goof
Yeah.
and nipples.
So it's a limited series, is what you're saying.
No, there's plenty of goofs.
We could just keep searching.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what we watch. It just in the end we have to say
Why do
does
I
it
get the-
contain goofy nipples?
Why do I get the feeling you've just found your life's calling?
Yeah. These are anachronistic nipples. Clearly, in 1872, she would not have a nipple piercing.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the entire podcast in that voice. the IMDb goof section voice. / trivia. Clearly.
Those are late 90s era Hooters. I recognize the brand of non-motion Hooters.
Yes. Clearly some
Yeah.
silicone was used in the
I
age of
believe Chuck
innocence.
described them as oogie.
Yes,
Oogie.
They are oogie.
Oogie nipples.
Rock hard oogie nipples.
That's going to be my co-host. On Goofy Nips. Goof Nips.
I'm rock hard and I'm coming at you.
Jesus Christ.
We got this.
Yeah.
$5 Patreon level.
What do you have to say, glass cutter? Well,
Squeak.
what?
Man,
I don't know.
we are fucking goofy in the middle of the day. What is with us?
Yep. So should we get it on?
That's just what you're going to be asking this
Get on
next
those-
week on Goofy Nips.
Get on them goofy nips.
So, Rock,
Oh, I know. What
are we getting on?
I just named the show Nip Pickers. Now we have to do the show.
I'm going to have to get up and leave. I have to physically leave the room.
We'll do male nips,
Yeah,
too.
of course. There's going to be male nips. It's equal opportunity nips. It's just all nips. # all nips.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Pickers.
Nip Pickers.
God damn it. That's just, we trademark that. No one,
Go-
you can't have it.
Please don't immediately go start that podcast.
Mailing this to ourselves.
God. Winky face.
My family has probably, they're broadcasting early. Let's tune in. Oh, God.
What's this Nip Pickers show? How do I subscribe to that on Stitcher?
Yeah. It's a relevant app for all your relevant social devices or whatever the fuck.
There's ads in the middle of my Nip Pickers.
Yeah, let's light this candle.
Okay, fine. Just wanted to keep spitballing
Okay.
nipple podcast.
Hey,
Yeah.
someone named Nip Picker has a TripAdvisor profile.
Oh yeah.
Let's see where Nip Picker's been. I just want to see.
It's just a review of nude beaches
Hope so.
and topless bars.
Yeah.
Where has Nip Picker been? Come on. 5 contributions from Nip Picker.
Oh, well, let's see. Let's hear him.
Where you been?
He went to the Troutbeck Caravan and something in Troutbeck, United Kingdom, and said, "Cracking view. Not. Please beware of the 4 pitches mentioned. TV hookup. 2024. These pitches are sited behind on the on-site fixed caravans. Your view from these sites are something."
Something.
I don't know. I didn't want to
Oh,
click through to
I thought
the
it was like
entire
saying
review.
these views are something.
He was real busy in May and June of 2014. And then,
And then he...
he went to the Mutton and Lamb.
And also, by the way, dude, if you're gonna go with that name, you name yourself Nip Advisor.
Yes.
Of course. Said, staff very amenable. Site is grass and hard standing, with or without mains drainage. A bit of potluck where you can end up. Boss believes in a first come, first served basis. This was in Ireland. So anyway,
So
Nip Picker is sadly not what I was expecting.
it's
at
probably
all.
a camping term in Ireland.
Yeah, let's just nip up to the coast here.
And someone already has Nip Picker on Twitter. Never tweeted. No, 7 tweets.
Oh yeah,
Not
Anything
following
good?
anyone. Nope.
Oh,
No followers. Not following anyone.
okay. When was that last tweet?
June 29th, 2017.
Oh,
Yep, Russian bot influenced the election,
god damn it.
obviously.
Retroactively.
Yes.
Yep, they're still doing it.
Doesn't like vegans.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
All right, well, that nitpicker's all right in my book.
Yeah. Likes them nips. Vegetables don't have nips.
That's true. Yeah.
All right,
The math checks out, Chuck. Anyway.
I agree.
All right, now let's do a podcast.
All
we
right.
sure should.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey, BMFcast.
Ah,
Yeah.
Ah,
Episode 481. You're surprised to be here this early, aren't you?
it's weird.
It is. It's a hurricane has pushed us in here early.
So I'm Harlow,
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck.
and BJ's blown off into the storm somewhere. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won't be here this week.
No.
He got blown onto a farm. Anyway, you know what we do each and every episode of this podcast?
What?
We go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Then we come in here and talk about it for the first half. Then they get ratings.
Yeah.
Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 Jacksons and Robot Jocks.
Robot
Jocks.
Robot Jocks.
Pretty good.
However, there are bad movies. This is stay away. They get a negative sliding scale. 1 to 5 bags is in giant bags of trash.
Oh,
Gross.
that's a shame.
Don't
is.
like them.
Get out.
Boo. So,
Yes.
we watched a movie this week from 1985 called Wheels of Terror.
Nope. We did not. Wheels of Fire.
Wheels of Terror.
We did Wheels of Terror.
We've watched
about
Wheels of
200
Wheels of Fire.
episodes ago.
Fire, terror, terror, fire.
There was a lot of driving through the desert,
Yes.
as there was in Wheels of Terror.
1985's Wheels of Fire.
There it is.
There
Wheels
it
of
is.
Fire.
You did it.
Yay. I'm the best. I'm just trying to pick this up.
Okay.
Figuring it out as we go along.
Well, what's this movie about?
Did you guys see like a Mad Max? Not so much the first one, but maybe like the later ones.
Okay.
I have seen some of them.
You have seen the Mads Max.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a lot like that.
Especially Road Warrior, the
Only
second one.
Really low budget.
Do you have an official explanation as to what this movie is about?
I mean, that was pretty much it. You want me to read a thing? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, we like the plot summary. It
Fine.
says, "Have you seen Mad Max? You have seen this movie."
Yeah.
but
That's pretty much what it
better.
says. Yes, that's what it says on IMDb.
Okay.
Clearly.
Cool. Who's in it?
Oh, wow, I got out of it. Yeah. That actually worked.
Well, this is a Roger Corman joint
Yeah.
from the director of TNT Jackson,
Hell yeah. No.
Cirio H. Santiago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Main people, I think, were only in like this movie and nothing else.
Pretty much.
Aside from Joe Maury Avenala, who's the main bad guy. He was in Blood Fist, and he's recognizable. He's been in quite a few other things. And Linda Weissmeyer was in Joysticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, BMFcast favorite.
We love it.
So good.
The best.
Yeah, she had a busy 1985, and then she dropped off the face of the earth.
Yes.
Because she is in BMFcast adjacent Malibu Express. Sedaris's
This first.
kind of-
Serious motion picture.
serious one.
I don't know
yeah,
about the first movie, but the first in the.
in his
that-
in the
yeah.
ones he's known for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
First of the bullets, babes, and butts.
Yeah. Boobs.
Yeah. Girls, Guns, and G-Strings. I
That's
believe
it.
is the name of the set we have.
Yeah.
Yes. That sounds about right.
Yeah. We picked this because it's short.
And it's
and it-
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the pre-apocalypse of Florida right
Right.
now,
We-
so we figured
yeah.
we'd skip ahead to the post-apocalypse.
Need to see what it's going to be.
Yeah, we just need to. It's prep.
Yes.
First, we know we need to get shoulder pads and gas-guzzling cars.
Right.
Yeah.
Because gas is going to be a premium, so
Put
you have
spikes on the front of it.
you have to drive around in a car that's getting like 2 miles to the gallon.
Burns the fuck out of gas.
Yep,
Yeah.
Love it.
This movie kind of just goes.
pretty much.
Like there's no company logos at the beginning. It's just
Well, to be fair, we watched it on Amazon Prime, which it is available there.
Uh-huh.
There may be production logos on some other transfer, but there it's just like, hey, credits,
Yep.
and it's just a shot of like a fiery exhaust thing while all the names are going by. And when it's done, it's like, it kicks up the fire and goes. And then we're treated to our main character just kind of showing up at like a future Burning Man concert, and I mean like an actual Burning Man, not our term of somebody getting lit on fire, which people will be, not
Oh,
to be
yeah.
confused.
Oh yeah.
But this is like the actual, yeah, that's confusing.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Coachella. How about future Coachella?
Future Coachella.
Yeah. But he just shows up this place, and they're kind of having like a low rent Thunderdome. It's just a circle, and people are basically like racing for pinks or keys.
It's weird because like he pulls up and just kind of parks on the street, and everyone's kind of clean and everything's fine, and you're like, well, this apocalypse seems okay.
It's a little dusty.
Yeah, it's like
and-
a flea market.
Yeah, everyone seems to be getting along, but there's like a circular Thunderdome area where it's like there's some people beefing in there.
Yeah, they have like scheduled pipe fights.
Yeah.
Like they each well they're given like pieces of pipe, and they have pipe fights.
Scheduled pipe fights.
The two things happen. When he arrives, and Trace, our main guy, when he arrives, the
He's just a
coalition,
fucking
is that
tracer.
their name?
Sure.
Whatever it is. It's basically like the Law and Order guys,
Yeah.
kind of.
The people with the butthole logo on their
Yes.
patches.
They do have a butthole logo on their patch. But they are, they're basically like, hey, man, you going to join back up with the team? And he's like, no.
Right.
No, I'm my own man now.
Yeah, I'm a
I don't
loner,
need you guys.
Dottie, a rebel.
I don't want one of them uniforms.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm just here to find my sister.
Which he does immediately.
Immediately.
His
She's
sister,
like-
his sister Arlie, who's a
Arlie.
low rent Meg Ryan.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
She has the curly blonde hair.
I'm just saying.
Yes, she has the
she's-
curly blonde hair.
Her face is kind of Meg Ryan-esque.
Okay.
So
Sure.
bootleg Ryan.
Sure.
Yeah.
But this is the one who was in joysticks.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
And then she's with a guy, her beau, because that's his name.
Yeah. His name is Bo.
Yeah, she runs over to her brother. Is like, "Oh, yay, you're here!" And he's like, "Hey, what's all this then?"
She's
And
like,
she's
"This
like,
is my
"Calm
brother,
down, it's my brother."
dumbass.
He's like, "Oh, hey, come watch me pipe fight."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's bet our car against this guy, and it's just some string bean dude with pipes.
Yeah.
And then
he's bet her car.
yeah, he's
Not
bet her
his car.
Yes.
Her car.
Her car.
Yeah, against that guy's car, and then he's a ringer.
Yeah.
Like basically they're like, haha, and throw the keys to this other guy, and it's like he's the leader of some other. Just get ready. There's going to be a lot of like post-apocalyptic gangs, and you're
Yes.
not going to know anything about them.
No.
They're going to throw out names of these gangs, and it's like, just forget all that. They
Yeah.
basically have some flair to kind of denote which gang they're in, and that's about it. It means nothing. Like the socio-economic structure of this post-apocalyptic future is just weird.
Also, they're going to set up like 17 either villains or main henchmen, and it's never clear if most of them get what they deserve.
Probably not.
Like, most of them do probably die, but they're not. A lot of them are given moments like, I'm fucking evil. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to die. And then right now, 15 minutes removed from the film, I'm like, I don't know if that guy died.
Yeah.
Because, like, this main dude who takes over the pipe fight is an expert pipe
Yeah.
fighter.
Well, he's like their king because he's not all covered in shit like everyone else.
Right.
No, but yeah.
Everyone's clean at this thing. They all
No,
have.
no, his string bean dude was kind of gangly.
He'd
and-
been pipe fighting.
He had been, yeah. It's a hard day pipe fighting. But yeah, he comes out and like basically kicks this guy's ass, disarms him, and then just like whacks him over the head a couple times and gets him down. And
He's
like,
basically strangling him.
yeah,
after
he's
he
got him
takes
like
his keys.
yeah, he's got him pinned between two pipes, like he's gonna choke him out. He takes the key and is still like, I'm still gonna murder you with these pipes. And that's when Trace is like, she's like, help him, and he jumps in and
It's like, not on my watch.
kicks him out of the way. And
Kind of beats the crap out of him then.
Yeah.
he just
He gets hit a couple times.
At first, he
but-
just like kicks him out of the way, and he's like, "Hold on, he's mine." And somehow Trace now has his own set of pipes, and they fight. And yeah, he gets like one good hit on Trace, and then he's like, and just beats the shit out of him.
Yep.
And then like gets him down enough to take the key back, and then he's like, "All right, cheese it," because like everyone's like, "Hey!" And
Yeah.
mob mentality's taken over of like, we didn't bet on this pipe fight, so everyone just becomes chaos. And
Yep. And
Yeah.
basically, fuck this place, this nice place.
it's not that nice.
For the post-apocalypse, it's
Compared
nice.
to everything else,
Fine.
pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they
'cause-
get in the cars, and this starts a pretty good chase sequence that goes on for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like Trace is in his own car, the car he brought, and then they're in maybe her car, his car. I
They're
don't
in
know.
her car.
and
'Cause
just
she's
driving down the
driving.
road, and it's like he waves him by, and basically his plan is like he doubles back and basically is trying to divert the like 3 or 4 cars that are chasing him.
Yeah.
So he gets like 2 or 3 of them to follow him, and like one follows them to. And it should be noted now, like Bo is dumb, real dumb.
He sure
has
is.
1, maybe 2 things on his mind, and they're, despite whatever situation he's in, he still has them on his mind. You know, because like they're going down the road, and he's just like trying to hit on her and stuff, and it's like not the right time, guy.
Yeah.
You're being
Yeah.
chased,
Honestly, not right now.
and then there's this whole back and forth where he's like, she's like, you almost lost your ass. And he's like, I didn't almost lose my ass. He's like, if Tracy wasn't there, you would have lost your ass. And then he sticks his ass out the window.
Yeah, then he's literally like, well, here, come take my ass. And then they just start shooting at his ass. And he's like, they shot at my ass.
Yeah, they almost took my ass. But
It's like, what did you expect, guy?
But yeah, they basically end up like running in an individual fashion. They run each of these cars off the road, and this is the kind of movie that when cars go off the road and down a small ravine,
They blow up.
They typically flip over and blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, Trace takes care of two of them by dodging or whatever, and they go off cliffs. But, like, the third one...
I think it's the one they kind of like get it just like
they get it like teetering on the
Yeah.
edge, and then they just gleefully push that car over. Like, they just T-bone
Yeah,
that
they back
car.
into it, T-bone it, and knock them down the hill, and those guys all die fiery deaths.
Yes.
While they laugh at them.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah, because they meet back up, and it's like, well, solve that problem. And then she's like, we're gonna go, we'll meet you at this other place. And Tracy's like, no, you're not. We're sticking together. We've just caused a major incident. We have to stick together. And they're like, whatever. And they just kind of go off on their own.
Yeah, and they go somewhere else and basically just try to fuck.
yeah. Trace goes off to like he goes and finds like some like fort, like some like just dilapidated fort, and is like prepping for okay, I'm gonna get chased and I'm gonna have a plan, and like sets all these things up.
Yeah.
They just go off somewhere and it's like, yeah, all right, let's fuck in the dirt.
Yep.
And
they get caught.
and she's like, I think I hear something. He's like, no, baby, come on. And she's like, no, really, I think I heard something.
He's like, no, you didn't. My dick.
And-
And she did hear something because they are immediately captured.
yes.
Uh-huh. Meanwhile, Trace is like fighting off a group over at this fort, which includes first he sort of like parks his car just kind of in the middle, like a diversion, so that they're all like, where did he go?
Yeah.
And then somehow doubles back to his car, and I think his first move is to bust out the flamethrower. Like that's a surprise attack.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So he busts out like
He has a mounted flamethrower.
Yeah, he's had this weird like, what is this thing inside of his car? And basically it's just like this pop out flamethrower that he can go through his, I don't know, sunroof, whatever type thing. And yeah, flamethrowers a bunch of dudes, to which they all scream and burn and
Yeah,
roll
they
around.
all
for a
get
while.
tickets.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
it's a radio giveaway.
and then he's like, well, fuck it, it's time to climb this fort. And he goes up probably the wrong side. He goes up the side that they're coming, and they barely miss him as he climbs up, and then surprise shoots a few more.
Yeah, this is one of those movies where the bad guys are very bad at shooting, but our guy doesn't even take aim. Just shoots from the hip and seems to murder everyone.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you were a kid and you were like pretending to be Rambo or whatever, and you're like, and you do like the just aim a gun and just kind of spray fake thing.
Yeah, the old
that's
spray and
what
pray.
Yeah.
that's what he does this entire movie, but it always works.
Yeah.
The bulk of his shooting scenes in this movie are basically UHF. It's just him just going blah, and then they all go. Just like four dudes will just fall down, and sometimes there will be a person amongst those four dudes who is on his side, and that person is fine.
Yeah,
like he has
untouched.
managed to shoot around that person.
Well, there's almost always like one of their group that survives too somehow, because like
Yeah.
he mows down like four of them. One guy's like, "Oh no, it didn't hit me," and like runs back and
better
regroups.
get back. Yeah.
But eventually, like he,
I do like when he doubles back to his car. There's
Yeah.
still one guy on fire rolling
well,
around. Like,
I was gonna say, so like there's a point where like they're like, "Oh, we got him trapped in this," and when I say fort, it's like this one spire thing. I don't know what the hell it was supposed to be, but he's using it like a fort.
yeah.
But he basically like, this is the first time of like 2 or 3 times that we see him do this. This thing is, he's climbed up, let's say 20, maybe 30 feet.
He's 2 stories in the air.
Yeah, he's at least 2 stories in the air, and he just leaps off the back of this thing, and like, at least on the second one, he lands on solid ground. This he does this like, haha, I've leaped from way too far, and just like lands balancing on like 2 rocks, like
Yeah.
pointy rocks.
Yep.
And it's just like, haha, I'm fine. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
How did you just defy the laws of physics and not break every ankle? But
Yeah. Wheels of fire, shins of steel.
yeah. Yes. But he jumps off the back there, doubles back to his car, and yeah, there's still one guy on the ground just going, ah, just somebody put me out and or murder me. Either one would be fine.
Dealer's choice.
But yeah, he gets back to his car and flamethrowers some more dudes, and then basically he's like, I'm out of here. And I guess he finishes them off, or finishes most of them off.
Yeah, the rest go back to...
I think the leader guy survives, and it's just like, well, you got away this time.
Yeah.
Trace.
Yeah, Trace.
Without a trace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, Bo and Arlie have been captured. And this is where the unpleasantness in Arlie's storyline begins. And it will be the same throughout the rest of the movie, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, they rip her shirt open, and yeah.
And it stays
You
that
just-
way for like 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, they basically rip her shirt open and then put her spread eagle on the hood of a car and drive her to
Well,
their
first they
base.
threaten her there. And
There's
we're like,
menace.
Where was the keywords check there, Chuck? And it's not your fault. It's IMDb's fault or the
Yeah.
world's fault for not putting it on IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
But the main guy, Scourge, shows up and is basically like, no. And we're like, oh, hey, it's the IMDb keyword police here.
Right,
But,
yes.
but no, not at all. He's just like, you can't do that until I'm done with her. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, God damn it, Scourge. But
He's-
anyway.
he's weird about this though, because like just skipping forward a bit, there's a lot of him just being like, "When I'm ready,"
Right.
and it's like 12 hours ago. I don't know what the preparation is that's happening here, but he's just constantly like, "Leave her alone until I'm ready."
Well, he needs a good time that he can pop his future Viagra in,
I guess.
which I guess would just be Viagra. We invented it.
Yeah, it would be just.
we invented it post 1985, but it would have been there in this
Right.
whatever. Never mind. Yeah, he's got to plan ahead. You know,
Yeah.
it could last 4 hours. Else he has to call his future doctor. Yeah. But anyway, like, yes, that it's interrupted here, and Bo, the shithead, is basically like, you can have the car or her, and I don't just let me save me. I'll join you. And they're like, sure, fine, you can join as long as you survive the initiation. Which, at first, the initiation appears to be deliverance in
they
nature.
pull his pants down, and you're like, "Oh no."
Well, another guy also has his pants halfway down. It's like, all right, that's a strange initiation, but
Yeah.
okay. And then it's like, now we're just going to drag you behind a car. And they do. And
They do.
And he's not wearing a lot, so
Nope.
it looks like it would hurt. Well, I mean, being dragged behind a car wearing anything is bad, but especially with like this future vest.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Trace basically shows up and murders them and like gets to him just as he's dying. He's like, where'd they take her? Mm-hmm. And he's like, help me, you got to help me. And he's like, sure, fine. Blam.
Right.
And this is where
And then Trace promptly forgets that his sister has been kidnapped.
Well, yeah, he seems to have some purpose of getting there. He just doesn't know where there is. But yes, as you said, they have strapped her to the hood of the car like a deer,
Yeah.
spread eagle with no
Yep.
shirt on, and drive her back to camp. Then he just sets off sort of aimlessly to find her, I guess.
He's not very determined and is instantly distracted. I'll say that. Because like at one point he drives into a quarry,
Yep.
like a dead end. Well, okay, he's distracted by an eagle.
Yeah, he
Yes.
sees an eagle flying.
He sees an eagle, and you're like, okay. And then you see what you think is him driving into a quarry, but it turns out it's a brand new character.
Stinger.
Yes, Stinger. It's a lady, because she gets out of the car, and you're like,
it's a bad cut because I mean
it is, because you see him driving, seeing the eagle, and then this car that looks very much like his car drives into this quarry, and then she gets out, and you're like, what the shit just happened? But she's basically the Beastmaster?
She just has a pet eagle.
Kinda.
Okay.
She's an eagle near a falconer.
She's eagle adjacent.
yeah, eagle adjacent.
Right.
She has a pet eagle.
Yes.
Who sometimes lands. Well, one time lands on her.
It
arm.
lands on her arm once.
Once.
Yeah, and he's like, "I like your eagle." Well, she is immediately like menaced by some dudes.
Yeah, there are dudes who show up in like dune buggies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
motorcycles.
apparently in this world, like if an explosive goes off near your car, you are required to stop immediately and then start a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's how it
Because
works.
an explosive goes off near her car, stops the car, and starts shooting at people.
Yes.
I mean, apparently in this world, it did disable her car because then she's like, when he shows up, she's like, "I'm taking your car." So
Yeah,
even
well, her
though-
car does catch fire and explode at some point.
Okay.
But I think it's because one of the dudes shot it. I don't think it was that explosion that did it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because it gets shot and the trunk blows up because that's
Yeah.
where the explosives are. But like dune buggies crash into like the side of the quarry and they flip over.
Some stuntmen die in
Yeah.
making this scene.
There are some
in particular.
motorcyclists who do not survive their little jumps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the dune buggy one's the worst because they hop the hill and then you immediately see they don't land it right and
Yep.
it starts to roll and they cut
Yeah.
to a
Well-
the edit just goes, "Oh, we're done."
Like when they first appear on the scene and they're stunting into the scene, like one dude
Yeah.
eats it immediately, and you're like, okay, obviously
I mean,
these
at least-
men's lives are.
At least the dune
Very
buggies
cheap.
have roll cages. The motorcycles,
Sure.
when they fuck up,
Yeah.
you know, if
Also,
you're strapped into the dune buggy, you're going to be fine.
Yeah. Also, if you have a motorcycle in this future apocalypse, you have strapped some weird dumb thing to it. Especially one guy who has 2 tridents.
There's one guy who had 3 tridents.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. He had one.
He
yeah.
had like a non-dent.
Yeah. 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 But then that guy eats it like almost immediately, and you're like, oh no, Trident guy, no. But like someone rescues his bike and brings it back to the leaders later. But then that bike never shows up. But everything's got dumb shit strapped to it. Yeah. Everything has dumb shit strapped to it.
I love it.
But so they defeat those guys, and then she's like, she pulls a gun on Trace, and she's like, give me your car. And he's like, no.
Yeah, weird way of saying thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I'm just trying to find Scourge. He's like, you're trying to find Scourge? I'm trying to find Scourge. We should work together. And he's like, well, why would I do that? And
well, one guy, the woodshop teacher, wakes up, and he's just like,
yeah, where's Scourge?
Yeah, and they
and she's like, oh, you're looking for Scourge, so am I. We should team up. And he's like, I don't know if I like you. I like your bird.
Yeah,
but
because the bird came down, landed on her wrist, and then she went, get out of here, bird. And he was like, cool bird.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Bird's
then,
like, I'm not hers.
Yeah. And then she's riding shotgun.
Yeah, and then we cut away to, well, first there's more unpleasantness. We'll just skip all the unpleasantness. A lot of unpleasantness happens to his sister in the camp.
Yes, she has been kidnapped by pirates.
Uh-huh.
You fill in the blanks.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all you need
For
to
the
know.
rest of the movie for her.
Every time they cut back to her, it is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, leader guy keeps showing up and fending them off for a little bit, but basically only because he's like, I want her first, and then everyone else can have her. And that happens, and then she's just, she's in a trance for the rest of it.
Yeah.
And
Okay, I only want to mention two things about her subplot. One is that she is constantly mouthing off to everybody, and it's consistent. Like from the first minute to her last minute, it is she is constantly just like, "Get away from me, you fuckers," and all of that. The other thing is like, so after the main guy's done his thing, and then he basically opens it up to everybody else. They do the thing where a guy holds out a bat, and they all put their hands on it, and whoever's at the top is going to be next.
And it's the same guy that was like about to just take her right in the quarry or whatever.
Yeah,
that sounds like a weird euphemism.
But like another guy gets to the top of the bat, and he's like, "Hooray!" And then that guy just takes the bat and bonks that guy on the head with it. It's just like, nah.
Yeah. And I get the feeling he's like the second in command dude
he's
or something.
the main henchman, but again, it's just like, obviously this guy's going to be hot shit, but then it's like, is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
He just has the dumbest dubbed in voice.
Yeah.
Because he's just got like a...
He's real stoked about everything. He's always
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, oh yeah, let's go.
Because he's about to go in there, and then the leader guy is just like, there's a convoy. We got to go get it. And he's like, yeah, convoy.
That's the best. Someone's like off screen. They're like, hey, go get that convoy. And he just goes off screen. You hear, yes, sir.
Yes,
Woo! And it's like, oh, okay.
yeah, stoked to go get that.
Whoever did the dubbing in this, the ADR in this, had some fun because there's some really dumb shit that people say and some really weird. Like the guy who hits the top of the bat is like, fuck yeah, I win. And then it's just like, bonk. And he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real good. Yeah.
I mean, there's unpleasant shit happening, but the ADR guy's having some fun with it. But
Yep.
anyway, so that's
her
plot.
subplot. We'll
Yeah.
get back to her way later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cut to there's another random person group traveling down the road again, being chased by road pirates, and we only see one lady. We don't see she talks to the guy and just calls him grandpa, but we don't see him for a while.
Yeah.
Like they're just hauling ass down the road, and eventually they get just enough out of sight that he stops and is like, "Get out and run, and don't look back."
I got one shell left.
Yeah.
And she's like, Grandpa, no. And then she runs off.
And then he's hidden and like stop the car, and so like we must find him. And then he ends up, of course, shooting the one guy with the one shell, and then takes off to the desert, which of course, that doesn't get very.
He is
far.
not outrunning anybody.
No, he's pretty old. And then he gets samurai sworded to the face by yet another one of the main henchmen dudes. There's
I think they called him Robot at some point
They
earlier.
did call him Robot.
There's like two main henchmen dudes. There's the big burly guy, and then there's like a guy who's sort of mega force-ish.
Yes, dark-haired, beardy man who looks like he's in every Italian/Filipino movie as this guy.
Right.
But yeah, his thing is that he's got a samurai sword and he really enjoys it, and he has kind of a wind-up thing that he does before he samurai swords someone. But again, he just gets lost in the sea of humanity.
I don't know what happens to him at the end.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's a katana, just for the pedants out there.
But
just we know.
Yeah.
We're just saying samurai sword.
It's fun. I guarantee you,
it's
on the
alliteration.
set they weren't saying shit.
It's a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big knife.
Yeah. So anyway, this strangely has seemed to happen right over the hill from where Trace and What's-Her-Face have set up camp. Because they're trying to figure out where they're going to sleep, and she's like, I'm going to sleep over there. And he's like,
they're still being like, they're still sniping at each other.
Yeah.
Like,
He's like,
yeah.
you could sleep in here. And
Yeah.
she's like, haha, you think that?
Yeah.
No.
Just because we're traveling together doesn't mean we're sleeping together.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep over there. And he's like, all right, well, whatever.
And she just she just walks over this hill, and there's the the destroyed like antique van or whatever the hell it was that they attacked.
Featured Sanford and Son.
Yeah, and she just walks over, and it's just like, oh, this man in this car is dead.
What she's freaked out by, which is like really in this world, like where everybody's murdering everybody, you're scared by a dead body. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
You feel like you build up, especially since you murdered like 5 guys earlier.
Yeah. And so she's like, oh, no. And she takes a few steps back and then is just yoinked into the sand.
Yeah. By like a weird
white
hand.
zombie hand comes up.
And we're like, what? And now we're underground in Temple of Doom land. And it's just the Sandmen? Is that what
They
called?
call them the Sand People.
Yeah.
But it's like they're basically mole people. Like they're they're all like albino white because they haven't seen the sun or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And they all speak some weird language that 4 people are credited with coming up with in the closing credits. And they just have this weird underground place. And
well, she gets dragged to a cage, and there's the girl from earlier.
Yeah.
And she's
like, what are you in for?
Yeah, she's like, well, they're Sand People, they're cannibals. And you're like, how do you know that? You can understand them? She's like, no, I can read their thoughts. And it's like, oh, okay.
It's like, oh, okay, she has the sight or whatever, and that will come in handy, maybe. Not really. It's just kind of a thing.
Yeah, you just use for exposition.
Yeah.
Oh, but then he wakes up in the morning because to the eagle crying, like, hey, where's my lady?
I can't land on her wrist for a second.
So yeah, he
What
goes
the hell,
over and he has like slightly more street or sand smarts, I guess, because like he goes and sees the wreckage again and then like follows their tracks and is like, huh, what's this? And then he doesn't get yoinked down, but he does kind of sort of slip into like their little sand fun slide. But then there's like two people there waiting for him. So it's not like he got yoinked down. He's
they're prepared. People sometimes just fall down the sand chute.
Yeah, you have the sand chute duty today? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Earl.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he falls down and then just immediately like...
Or you just start swashbuckling because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and he has like a flare at some point. He's like, fire.
Well, he basically gets all the way to them. Like they're at a certain point, because it's weird. Like he fights off a couple and goes across this long rope bridge, and it's like he's approaching from really far away because they're having a little weird like mole people tribal council, and they're like, hey, I guess it's time to eat the ladies. And they're like, yeah, blah 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 blah, and all just all in weird stupid Sans people speak.
Right.
But like they just go to the cages and bring both of them out. It's like, don't you want to like. Are you going to turn them into jerky? I mean, like, are you really going to eat that much?
Yeah, pace yourself.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Rations, guys. Yeah.
But yeah, and then like so they're like being led to the chopping block, and he gets there just in time that like the leader guy's about to like butcher knife them, and shoots the knife out of his hand, and then basically
the jig is up.
Yeah, he's strangely not trying to murder them.
No, well
He's just trying to get them away.
Yeah, he does get him away, and then like run, and then that's when he brings out the flare, and it's like I guess he's familiar with Sand People habits that like they don't like the light because for half a second they're like, yeah, and
He could just be smart and realize like, well,
yeah, they
Look at 'em.
They have no pigment.
They're subterranean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but then they run across the rope bridge again, and it's like yet another Temple of Doom kind of thing because
he shoots
I
at a
do
couple
like-
of them.
I do like that someone took the time to build this rope bridge.
Yeah, because this is a very poorly lit cave thing wherever they are. It's hard to see
Yeah, with
exactly
the big
where
old
they
matte
are.
painting in the background of it,
But there's
I like the look of it.
it's
the whole thing.
But
But a couple-
very lengthy, dangerous looking rope bridge.
a couple old dudes get chucked over the bridge, and then
One dude just comes up behind him and he just goes push.
Yeah.
and that person takes a circus jump over the side of the bridge.
And then there's this weird thing where he shoots at the bridge, and it looks like he's blown out a section, but I guess maybe he just blew out the board because like one person's dangling and ends up getting back up, and he's just like, well, fuck this shit, and just burns the rope bridge. And anyway, they get away.
Yeah, they do. They somehow manage to get out the sand chute.
Yeah.
Like they just emerge out of this sand hole. They're like, well, we're out. That was a weird thing, huh?
Then I believe it's cut to yet another pirate, like road pirate raiding on.
This is the convoy.
This is the convoy that they talked about earlier.
the convoy of the
but,
true
like,
believers.
But we don't really get to like see this one happen. It's like already happened. They're already stopped and like being raided, basically.
We see
no.
basically the beginning of it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no,
Because someone's trying to talk to there's like a Filipino little person who's apparently their guide somehow, even though he can't really speak, or at least if he speaks, they don't speak the same language.
They understand his sign language,
Yeah.
which is just a bunch of gesturing.
Yeah.
That's what they seem to say.
But it's him saying, oh, they're like 25 miles away from where they need to be. And it's at that point that they get attacked.
Yeah.
And then we only see the beginning of the attack.
Right.
And then we see the aftermath when they come up later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because at this point, Trace is basically just collecting ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got, and I actually said that because like as they march about the Santa, I was like, is he just going to go around collecting ladies? And then he's like, let's go, ladies.
Let's go, ladies.
And yeah,
You're my collection now.
so yeah, he sees they come across this, and it's weird because I don't know what Scourge's gang was after. Like I guess they took the fuel truck.
They did.
because they
Yeah,
left
'cause-
like almost everything else, and like they left the little person alive.
Yeah.
because like when they roll up, he's still there, and of course now we have mind reader lady who's just like, oh, they were attacked. Well, actually, they come across them, and like they're being attacked now by like cavemen, like a caveman tribe.
This is like a cannibal tribe that has shown up. They all have matching outfits and similar looks, so they are part of their own thing.
Yeah, but they're like dressed like cave people.
Yeah.
And they literally are wearing furs and bones and stuff.
Right, and
it's
they're
like-
growling
Yeah, they're
and-
just ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah. And so there's a bunch of just like stay back, and then it's like now we'll fire bullets near you, and it's
Yeah.
he could have just done his magical bullet spray and taken care of all of them, but he doesn't do that.
But yeah, they rescue the little person, and basically, like I said, the mind regulators like can understand what he's saying because they he's collected 2 ladies and this little person in his car now because like everyone else is dead at this convoy thing.
Yeah.
and she's like, oh, he's part of the thing. He was going here, and we should go there. And he's like,
going
you can
to-
understand it. He's like, read his mind anyway. I know you weren't paying attention, and I just like that like Stinger and her looking at each other like, really, like mind reader, whatever.
Whatever. It's this crazy apocalypse.
Yeah, but then they show up at the
Valley of the True Believers.
the hippie rocket people because
Yep.
it's a commune and they're building a rocket ship in the middle of it.
They sure are, because they're going to go to paradise.
Yeah.
They-
Well, first, we see it's a bunch of hippies and they have this rocket ship, and then like we meet head hippie who's just like, "Hey guys, like
So glad you
welcome.
made it.
Like welcome. I'm the leader of the True Believers, and like this is our rocket ship." And I love that they have this shot they keep going to where it's like it's this ground shot looking up at the rocket ship, and they're like, and she's like, "Oh, this is a good place. Everyone here has very positive thoughts." And he's like, "Yeah, we're positive because we're going to get off this terrible Earth. Isn't that right?" And like they just have this shot where they look up the rocket, and there's one guy just like waving very enthusiastically on the rocket.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, "Yeah, we're so happy. We're gonna ride on the comet, and it's gonna be great."
Yeah. It's like, thank God we found paradise, right? It's only 10 million miles away.
Yeah.
Good news. We can all fit on the rocket, right, guys?
Basically,
Yeah.
like, this Earth sucks. So right before the cataclysm that we had, cataclysm. They discovered another planet, and it's called Paradise, and it's only like 25 million miles away. This rocket's gonna take us there. It'd be great, right?
Yeah.
Woo!
And then, like, this other dude comes out, one of the association or the organization.
ambassador.
Yeah. And he's like, hello, Trace. And Trace is like, oh, you. And he's like, I told them they could have all the fuel they wanted. Trace was like, sure you did.
Yeah.
I know you, government guy. And, man, like, whatever the connection is with this group and the hippie group, fuck all if I understand it. It's
what's
explained for 2 seconds.
Also, what's Trace's like organization to this?
well, Trace
wannabe
used to be
government?
with the butthole people. He used
The
to be
wannabe government people?
Yeah.
Okay.
He went his own way.
Yeah.
All right.
He didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, and then he has some exposition with Stinger at this point about them where he's just like, yeah, I don't trust any of them because they say they're going to give away for free, and then they're just going to start charging, and then they're going to start charging more and more and more. And she's like, well, why are you so cynical? And he's like, because I've been down this road before.
Yeah.
And then finally it dawns on him at some point because he's like, yeah, whatever, fuck this place. And it dawns on him like, hey, we have a mind reader lady. Like, I have a necklace for my sister. What
well,
if I toss
before
it?
we get to that,
Oh, okay.
after he's argued with her, he's like, well, why are you here? He's like, oh, I know what it is. You're a fucking bounty hunter. You just want to get the bounty on Scourge, and then you're fucking gone too.
Yeah.
And
how dare you? Which is like,
Yeah,
The
and she's
fuck,
like,
guy?
yeah, what of it?
mm-hmm.
It's my job, And then they argue for a little bit about this. They tussle,
Yeah, they get
And
into
they
a bit of a scuffle.
and then they start to roll down the hill, and then suddenly he rips her shirt open and kisses her neck, and
Sexy time. In-
psychedelic sexy time.
They ascend to the heavens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're fucking in heaven.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we need a sex scene here, but these two people can't fuck in this sand dune. So
Well, you get sand in your vagina. So.
I know. So film it somewhere else, and we'll fucking superimpose over a picture of dusk,
yeah,
and it'll
it's
be
like a beautiful sunset
it's
with
so
people fucking in front of it.
it cuts so hard to this. You're just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, what?
It's great.
And
But
then,
yes, it goes on for a few minutes.
and then he gets up the next morning. He's like, well,
Oh yeah, my sister.
yeah, because like he's
I will say this. These sex scenes are more realistic than anything that was in last week's Sedaris movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's actual touching. Of
Yes, it's
Yes.
actual
private
people
parts.
touching each other normally and not,
Yeah.
in the VIP room.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So what happens is next is that the bad guys show up and attack everything. Like Trace is like, I gotta go. See you.
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, he talks to the mind reader lady.
Not yet.
No?
No,
All
that's
right.
after.
Is it?
Yes,
Okay.
because so what he's just like, well, I better leave. So he just drives off.
Yeah, he's like, fuck all this noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm out
And
of here.
and the mind reader lady's like, oh, you're leaving, are you?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, read my mind. Yup.
Yep. Peace out.
Later. And so he
like,
leaves.
Like lady wakes up and she's like, did he leave? Son of a bitch, And then they get attacked.
Yeah. And it's weird because it's like Scourge and them aren't trying to get anything. They're just trying to like destroy this whole area.
They're very focused because they've got mortars and everything, and
Yeah.
they're aiming for this rocket, and they're just like fuck that, and they blow everything up and kill a bunch of people. Trace has driven off, but has parked because the eagle is circling around like idiot, cacaw. So he looks back and sees the smoke and everything. He's like, oh shit. So he drives back and walks in and is just like, fuck, you all got dead.
I mean, like, and it's a fairly long scene of the big shootout, and
Sure.
like Stinger helps the coalition guys or whatever, but the ambassador gets killed.
No, they usher him away.
They do, but then later on they say he got killed.
Okay.
Yeah. But he got killed, and then like the leader of the cult guy, guy's like, we were all gonna go to heaven, man. Like he just gets fucking katanaed to the face.
Yeah, they strap him to like a barrel.
Yeah.
And katana him.
All the true believers are dead.
Yeah.
Enough said.
But one of the bad guys got killed and is right near Trace when he's like, man, this sucks. And he looks over and sees that dude is wearing his sister's necklace. And he's like, the fuck? And grabs that off of him.
That's where you go. Okay.
And then it's like, oh, yeah, my sister. Holy shit. They've got her.
Yeah, and I have a psychic.
Yeah.
So
and
he
he's like,
gives it to the psychic, and he's like, here, where is she? Read this,
And-
psychic girl.
she's just basically like, they're at their headquarters.
Yeah, she's like,
Thanks.
she's at the fortress. And he goes, is she okay? And she goes,
She's alive?
yeah, she goes, I can't tell. And it's like, nah. She's going to wish
Yeah.
she was dead.
Ask-
by the
ask
end of
again
this.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, Magic 8 Ball says,
Yeah. She's
stop
like,
asking.
Outlook not good.
She's
Yeah.
like, I can't see everything. it's not an exact science. Yeah, so he's like, fuck, my sister, I gotta go get her.
Yeah, and everyone's like, no, like, Coalition's coming. We're going to invade.
Yeah.
We're going to do this. And he's like, nah, gotta go now.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I suddenly have a sense of urgency
Yeah.
now.
I'm on a stealth mission.
Yeah. And he goes there and he kills a couple dudes,
He sneaks,
stealth
he
style.
sneaks into this place while they're having their meat or
and,
whatever.
Yeah, and sees his sister begging anyone to give her food.
Yeah. And he doesn't much care for that.
Yeah.
And eventually, he stealth kills a couple dudes, but then he's just like, fuck it, gun time.
Well, he gets
Well,
to
yeah,
her.
because they spot him when he finally finds her.
He gets her, and like it takes her a minute to like come out of her coma there, and is like, "Oh, it's Trace, it's you." And then some guy's like, "Hey," and that's when he just has to be like, "Blam!"
Yeah.
Yeah, and gets captured immediately.
Yep.
And so does she. Mm-hmm. And then he has a brief discussion with Scourge outside.
They've strapped him to some cannon telescope
It's like
thing.
a howitzer thing.
It's weird. I wish I knew where they were because this is just a dilapidated castle-looking thing, but it's got pristine, polished cannons outside. They've tied him to that, and one dude's like, "Man, I can't wait to cut his flesh off. We haven't done that in forever, right, boss?" And he's like, "Whoa, hold up.
No.
Let me just talk about this for a while." And Trace is just like, "Hey, man, you and me, untie me. Let's do this." And the bad guy's like, "No."
he doesn't really say no. He's like, nah, I got better things going on today. I got more important shit to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, yeah, I know they're invading.
Yeah.
We set a trap for him. It's cool.
But then he basically says something like, "Untie him and bring him with us."
Yeah.
And it's like, those guys just spent half the morning tying him to this cannon.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so they all get on a hillside and wait for the coalition to drive single file down this road and march behind their big tank.
It's a very bad battle plan they're doing here.
Into the widest open area they can go,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
which is where all the charges have been set.
yeah,
to
I was
blow
just
them
say
up.
there's some thing where it's like they are waiting for them to get to a line, and the bad guys,
Yeah.
Scourge's guys, are going to blow up this perimeter and fuck up all their artillery, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's like, I've got to get to the detonator, and
He figures all of this out off camera. They have dubbed in exposition of him figuring this out while he is not on camera.
and stupidly tells it to his sister too, because like it's their conversation.
Well,
like,
I mean, they basically escape immediately.
yeah.
Like
But
it barely even takes any time for them to escape.
He bullet sprays. This is like when she's in the crowd of 4 people and he bullet sprays them, and then she's like, "Well, I'm glad I'm okay."
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get away, and he's just like, "Stay here."
Yeah, he's like, I'm going after the detonators. You get to the coalition or whatever.
Yep. And
because
she's
you'll
like,
be safe.
"Nope, going
Yeah.
for the detonator too." And
Yeah.
somehow she knows the better path because she gets there way before Trace does.
I want to say at some point he did another one of his miracle jumps around here, like to somehow
That
to get
was
away.
he did the miracle jump early on when he first met what's her face in the quarry.
Yeah.
He jumped down off a thing that looks like he fell 10 stories and then just lands on his feet like yaha.
Yeah.
It's like what? What is this power that you have and why is no one explaining it? But yeah, so he's supposedly going for the detonator but is like nowhere near it cuz she's right there.
Yeah.
And she gets shot.
He yells, "Arlie,
Yeah.
don't!" And then everyone turns around and goes, "Huh?"
What?
And shoots her.
Yes.
And
then
as she's dying, she gets to the detonator and basically blows it up early.
at first you think she's just going to unhook
Well,
it.
no, it's
Yeah.
blowing up early was the point, because if the coalition forces had gotten there,
Right.
it was
Yeah.
going to blow them up. So
Right.
the idea was to blow nothing up, which is what she does. But yeah, it's an old school like TNT plunger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
But
And
it is
it-
hooked up to like a battery. You can see like
Yeah.
the screws and everything.
And it's hooked up to everything. Like every explosive like in this area goes off.
yeah.
And
well, yeah,
then-
it just kind of like it said. At first, it's kind of weird because until you like think about it, it's like, oh yeah, the idea was to blow it up early. Because at this point, I was kind of confused because
Yes.
there's this incoming army, and it's like, are you trying to? Are they the good guys? It's, who's who? Until
Yeah.
you see like the survivors of the true believers commune with them, like you know Stinger and the little person and all that. It's like, oh okay, they're with the good. This is the good guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought she just fucked it up. It's like,
Yeah, but I mean, she dies here.
oh yeah, she's dead.
And the only kind of redemption she gets at all is she gets to stab one random dude in the dick.
yeah. Yeah, late
As
he-
he's
she-
like the basically the final person that tries to assault her.
yes. He gets stabbed in the dick.
Yeah.
And it's real quick too. It doesn't linger like, haha, motherfucker, your dick is
Was
stabbed.
was that the gruff henchman dude, or was
No,
it just some
that
random
was
guy?
just some random.
That was a fucking water boy.
Okay.
Who was
Yeah.
like last on the list.
Yep.
He was just like, my turn. And then she's like, nah, stab. But it's so fast. It's like, okay, that's
Yeah.
really not the best revenging for what's happened to her. And
Yeah.
now she's dead.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway.
and
she-
now it's like the end scene from a dozen Bond movies where it's like, all right, well, we got all our team of whatever guys attacking the other team of whatever guys.
Yeah. Well, like the Scourge gang has like, you know, regular old little mortar launchers, and they're trying to, you know, shoot him out in this crowd of this army, and they basically just like they rolled in howitzers and are just like boom, you know, like blowing up big swaths, and they're like, run away.
yeah, they get hit maybe
Run away!
twice, and they're like, retreat.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't think
And
this
so
out, did
yeah,
you?
it's like 5-10 minutes straight of just like dudes, you know, diving from random like, you know, pot explosion things on the ground, just
Yeah, and Stinger and the Coalition people just chasing dudes through this castle now, this fortress or whatever.
It, as far as action geography, it gets a little fucked up because they're running through the courtyard of this, and the howitzers are still hitting them, and it's like, how?
Yeah.
Witzer?
Yeah.
Are they hitting them? No, it's just like
Yep.
I mean, no, it's like you know, it makes sense when they're on the hillside, but then it's just like they're precision hitting them inside this castle thing, whatever the
Yeah.
hell it is. It's like
Yep.
that's not how they work.
yeah.
But-
Yeah.
But yeah, so they get. We'll just wrap up her storyline. Stinger eventually gets to chase down the second in command.
That's the henchman. That's how she kills
Yeah.
him.
Okay.
The gruff
Yes.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because she gets to chase him down. Because I guess she gets to do the revenge instead of Arlie
It's
Sure.
dumb.
or something, even though they never met. But yeah, she.
Well, also, Psychic Lady's running around like a badass now. She's just got like a butcher knife and is like,
and is murdering dudes.
yeah,
Yeah.
straight up like rolling and murdering and stab. You know,
Yeah, like doing action scene stuff
yeah,
and
like,
stabbing.
Like if this was a
dudes.
fantasy movie, she'd be like suddenly turn into a rogue. That's like she's doing those kind of moves, and it's like, it's really unfortunate. But they've let the little person come along for this ride and always give him a gun, and then like every time something happens, he just throws the gun on the ground, throws his arms up straight in the air, and they've given him like basically like a dubbed Munchkin voice, like slash Jawa, and he's just like, "Aya, I don't know. Just like,
Yeah.
oh no,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's that whole comic relief thing that gets
just doesn't work.
Yeah, that doesn't work. But
But she eventually rescues him, and then like they're running along, and she's just like roll, stab, sneak up behind.
Mm-hmm.
She throws herself violently against like 4 walls in a row. It's
Yeah.
like that. Why? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she's just
Yeah.
murdering dudes. But yeah, Stinger is like, I think it's
chases down the main, like the second in command guy, who is down to a pistol and a sword,
yep.
not a katana, like a fucking sword.
Yeah, he's got like a scimitar, like
Yeah.
curved sword thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And he runs out of bullets, and then he's just like, all right, let's do this. And she has a gun, and she's like, yeah. And
Yeah.
instead of just shooting him, waits until he makes a run at her, then shoots him multiple times, but his momentum carries them both over the edge of whatever it is.
Yeah.
So he lands on her, smashing her.
Into a rock. Like hits her
Yeah.
head on a rock.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she is mostly dead.
And so, yeah, she's basically dead until the psychic girl comes up and talks to her, and then she's basically, did we win the war?
Yeah, we won.
She's like, yep,
Yep.
sure did.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
And-
she doesn't get to him. She doesn't get to her dying for a while.
Oh, yeah, no,
because
yeah.
because Trace is about to finish off the
Yeah.
Scourge because at some point they're like, well, fuck all this hand to hand crazy blow up shit. Let's get back to the cars.
Yeah, because Wheels of Fire, yo.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like Scourge gets in his car and like one henchman gets in their car. They do this weird
And
like
Trace gets in his sister's car.
yeah and like
To take off after
they
him.
do this weird like they're kind of like fighting around a quarry again because you can blow shit up and like he's like chasing them for a while and then just like veers off and goes down to like a lower cliff or something and just shoots up at the one car and like causes it to hit like roll into a ditch and then explode and the guy dives out like G.I. Joe style. But then it's like Scourge is like, oh shit, and then he's just like driving around like, where the fuck did he go? And I don't know how
Eventually,
he
he parks.
I don't know how he set this up because he's just like, whew, I guess I got away. And then from out of nowhere, like we haven't seen him set this up at all. It's just suddenly his sister's car is coming over the ravine and basically it's just like and just dive bombs into the car.
And he yelled, like, he's like, ah!
Yeah.
Because somehow he knows it's about to happen.
Yeah.
It's pretty good aim, too, because it crushes the driver's side specifically. Like, I know that was a happy accident, but, like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah, he murders Scourge with his car. He wasn't in it.
no, because after this, you see him standing on the cliff watching his masterful stroke of murdering this one man's car with another car.
It's a good long shot of him, like,
Yeah.
admiring his handiwork.
I did that. I'm fucking Trace.
Yeah, and that's like killing him was like the final. There's still a few more guys getting shot and whatever around, but like that's when Psychic Girl rocks up and is like, she's like, did we win? She's like, you can rest in peace. Still, we won. R.I.P. in peace.
Right. And she's like, my bird.
Yeah. she's like, you're gonna be fine. He's like, you know that's not true. And he's like, well, we won, and I'm gonna miss you. And she's like, I know. I can read your thoughts. And it's like, wow, that's just it's taunting her at the very end.
Yep.
I can read your thoughts. Dead.
You dumb idiot. Yeah. Then they all just kind of reconvene, and Trace gives the psychic girl the necklace.
Well, she still had the necklace from before when she was doing the reading on it, and then
and
she's
he's like, "You're my sister now," and
Yeah.
puts it on her. And then I guess he drives off to drive the Earth.
yeah, and then she's like, I guess we'll be all right. We have another chance now that there's a government again.
Yeah, like they're
Yay.
gonna come in and give us gas or something.
Mm-hmm.
All the bad guys are dead, so
Yay.
hooray!
Yep.
See
And,
you,
like,
Trace.
ends on a shot of the eagle just going,
Yeah, like the fuck.
I don't have a wrist to land on.
I have to circle forever.
Make
Yeah.
me the symbol of your new country.
Yeah, and then it's over.
Just make it a bald eagle, not a black one.
Yeah.
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 No Stargrove. Soundtrack's working overtime, though.
It's Christopher Young who goes on to do like Hellraiser and Candyman and stuff like that, and it's he's a real good composer, but this is some very generic action music.
Yeah.
Better than stock music, I would say, but
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But actual ratings.
Mm-hmm.
I can go.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going 4 jocks.
All right.
I mean, obviously, it loses jocks basically for Arlie's entire storyline
Yeah.
because it just keeps repeating over and over, and it's not pleasant in any way,
No.
and not story advancing or anything. It's like, all right, we get it. They're evil. Move on.
Yeah.
But otherwise, everything else is like shockingly well done. I mean, honestly, like, I mean, the ADR is stupid, and it's just like, dudes machine gunning without looking at anything. But there's something about how it's made that actually works. And like the whole, like, a lot of movies where we'd be like, oh, they didn't explain that tribe or whatever they are, but it's like, you don't care. It just feels like world building in a good way that it's a lot of fun. And they follow the rule that if a car gets flipped over off the side of a cliff, it had better fucking explode.
There's one that doesn't.
And it does.
But they don't show it. I'm assuming that it did.
Yeah, they just cut away.
Yeah, they just didn't.
Yeah, it must have blown up wrong.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the footage to use.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. But this is a hell of a lot of fun. I was shocked at how much fun it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 4 jocks.
Yeah, I can go ahead and go. I'm also going to give it 4. If it had managed to keep the momentum that it starts with, this would have been an easy 5 jocks movie. But you add in, uncomfortable, plot exposition using a female, and and like it's bad enough to do that / like not even give it any kind of redemption. Just be like, well, that's her lot in life. It's like, really, like,
Yep.
And it just reduce her to like a B plot of like, yeah, you're my main goal until, oh well, other thing happened. But I do like that this movie is just not afraid to like go from random thing to random thing. And as we were watching the credits, it's like the concept of this movie was like 4 different people, which I was like, yeah, that makes sense. 4 different people just each had their own idea of what a post-apocalyptic movie should be. And it was just like they all got it. They were like, yeah, mole people / Mad Max / kind of like The Postman, where we're like trying to get a government going.
Yeah.
And, it's just like it's like everyone got their shot at their version of it.
It's like, quick round robin. What do you think the apocalypse
it's just
is like?
like
Mole people.
plot wise and action wise, this kind of falls apart a little bit in the second half, comparatively speaking. Because man, the first like act and maybe or so is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
When they stop like having constant car chases and it just becomes like sneak battle and super power leaping off of tall things, it loses a little bit, but it's still fun.
Yeah. 4 jocks also. I think it starts better than it ends. I think them trying to go for a massive scale battle at the end is a mistake because it's very disjointed and not personal. It's like,
Well, it's good that they actually had a lot of people. Like a lot of these things would
yes.
just be like, well, we brought in 20 people. Look at our massive army.
They did have an awful lot of people, but also it lets the movie down in that there are 5 or 6 dudes that you want to see get wrecked, and like we were saying, 4 or 5 of them, I'm not sure they do. I mean, in general, I know they did, but it's like that the guy who was so in love with his sword was like, man, fuck that guy. When did that guy get it?
And they don't let the right people kill the right people.
Yeah.
Like Psychic Girl should have been able to kill that guy.
Yeah.
Obviously, Arlie should have been able to kill most of them.
Yeah, it's like trying to play chess, but then you've got a couple of checkers because you're missing like a bishop, and you got dice because you're missing a pawn, and it's like all the pieces are there, but they just parts of it just don't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. I mean, the movie is just nonstop what, and you're just like, okay, post-apocalypse, that's fine, I guess. Yeah, sure,
But
whatever.
it keeps moving.
Yeah, and I really think the movie's strongest thing is how it starts. It's just like, well, here we are at the Ren Fair. Uh-oh, pipe fight. Oh no, run. And then it's just almost nonstop chaos from that point on. It helps that the movie's only 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Because like there's a couple of times where the movie stops for people to talk, and you're like, no, stop this, get back to the other stuff, and it doesn't waste much time in that regard. So, yeah, it's a really really dumb one of these, but it's better. Some of the car stuff is unfortunate because it's sped up.
Yeah.
But the other car stuff is still pretty fucking dangerous. Like, they do some stuff at speed at times that is really dangerous. So I get why they've sped up some things, but it's not... None of the vehicular combat is sped up. It's only when people are, like, just hauling ass down a road.
Yeah.
And they're like, we want to make this look like it's faster. But, yeah, other than that, this is surprisingly dumb fun.
Yeah. It's a review of the BMFcast. Anyway, let's take a break, shall we?
Yes.
I always feel like I'm peeling this off my ears. It's like,
Surprisingly dumb fun. The
All right.
BMFcast story.
So you got anything for second half?
One thing.
One thing. And you got a couple TV things?
Yeah, it won't be,
Okay.
won't be too long.
I got two things, but one of which has been discussed a few times here, so I'll keep it brief. I guess the other one would be pretty brief, too, now that I think about it. It's all going to be brief. Yeah, my business was closed today. It's closed tomorrow. I really wish we had worked today, to be totally honest.
Me too.
'Cause I got fucked over since I got to work Saturday now.
Yeah.
And I probably could have avoided it if we had gone in today. But
Today would have been totally okay. I mean,
I can't call my employees and go, hey, change of plans,
Right.
come on in. And I can't do everything. So
the first announcement was school is closed Tuesday and Wednesday, and then every business in town made their decision.
And
based
apparently
on
school's
that.
closed Thursday, too. Now.
It's closed in St. Johns County. I don't know
Oh.
about Duval.
Okay.
And most of like grocery stores and things like that are closing at 6 today, I
Yeah.
think.
Like Starbucks was closed all day, which
Yeah.
pissed me off because I got up early and was like, I'm gonna go to Starbucks.
I got Dunkin'.
Of
They were
course you
open.
did. Yeah.
They treat their employees like shit.
Yeah.
You should have
Yeah.
gone to Waffle House.
I thought about it.
Mm.
I figured if we were going to record late, I was going to suggest Waffle House
Yeah.
for food.
I like that I haven't shaved in like a week. I'm just going to let this ride.
Hurricane
let that,
beard.
Let that hurricane
Yeah.
beard keep
Yeah.
going.
Kinda-
The neck is like horrific now.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of itchy down there.
Yeah.
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 Pretty soon it's just going to take over my entire head. Just go fucking Wolfman style.
But I think we're all going to be okay. The track
Yeah,
is
it's just
it's shifted so far out that it's going to be some bad thunderstorms for us basically, and
we don't even get that. Like you don't get thunderstorms with the hurricanes, do you? I mean, you just get
not
a lot of
thunderstorms, but
rain
just
and wind.
continuous downpour basically.
Yeah.
It'll probably be enough to flood my lake, which will prevent me from getting anywhere for about 12 hours, but
Yeah, not bad.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot. It was touch and go beginning of the weekend, man. It was looking fucking rough.
I feel like we're in the second month of prep for this thing, and
Yeah.
like the first month was, oh god, we're all going to die, and then slowly but surely it just kept turning and turning and turning. Well, it kept being forecast to turn and turn and turn.
Yeah,
It didn't
well, I mean,
actually
Bahamas,
turn.
it sat there for like almost 24 hours, didn't it?
Yes,
They got fucked.
They
Yeah,
did.
this is like a slow ass moving storm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it came straight west at Florida, just west, just coming at you, Florida, and then literally stopped for about 12 straight hours. The movement said stationary.
Yeah, the updates were just like nothing new.
Yeah. It's like it's just there. You see it spinning.
I
and
always
you're like,
wonder what point they stop using the spaghetti models. Because like beginning of the weekend, they're like, here's what all the spaghetti models show. And then now it's just like, here's the cone of uncertainty.
Right.
And that's all like they show. Like, why did we stop using spaghetti stuff? Is it just because it's that close to the coast it doesn't make a difference?
You use the spaghetti models when it's far out because
Yeah.
you just don't know and you want everybody to be prepared. But once you have a general idea, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
stop freaking out. Like,
And I love people like my dad are like, oh, it's a bunch of hype. Nothing's going to happen. And I'm like, they do that because if something does happen, people need to have been ready and be gone. Like the governor wouldn't declare a state of emergency if it wasn't going to fucking hit.
the only universally good thing you can point to that government does is over-prepare everybody for a deadly storm.
Yeah.
And people get pissed off about it. They're like, oh, what a bunch of bullshit. You know, I'm not going to follow the forecasts anymore. I'm
Now
like,
I got all
guy.
this water I have to drink.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Oh, the $12 I spent on water is just going to be sitting there until I drink it. It's like,
I've still got jugs of water from the last hurricane.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
water.
I
you
just
should drink them.
I just
it
take them
stays
to work.
fine. It's
It's
fine.
water.
Leave them in the thing long enough, they'll turn acidic.
If they're in like the sun, I mean,
Mm.
they're fine.
It
in
depends
plastic.
on what kind of water.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The
Whatever.
Discord, everyone's like, man, Dasani. Nobody wants Dasani. I'm like,
That shit's
Yeah,
just
I
as
don't-
delicious as any
it's
other
just-
water.
it's just tap water.
It's just fucking water. I
Yeah.
think the
Yeah.
thing. I think the reason people hate Dasani and what's the Pepsi version,
yeah, whatever.
whatever it is,
Oh, Aquafina.
Aquafina, like, you know, who's a marvelous actress, by the way.
Very good.
But no, I mean, like the thing that people hate about those, it's like they charge you just as much as they do for Coke and Pepsi when it's the water they use to make those without all the shit in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's what I think people are like, hey, fuck you.
Yes.
Like, you know, you're literally like selling me
Well,
less for the same
Universal, we used to sell, it was sodas were $2 and water was $2.50.
amount. That's even worse.
Yep. Yep.
That's even worse.
Yep.
I think that's the main reason of like the fuck Dasani train. You know, like
woo woo, motherfuckers.
I mean, like, you give me a Dasani, I'm not gonna be like, I'm not drinking that water.
no,
Like, I don't give a fuck. It's water.
Yeah.
Like, people that have choices in their water, just fuck off. It's water.
When we tried to go to Target last, I think it was like Thursday, like when it was getting bad.
When it was chaos out.
Like all they had were these $6 bottles that were like, or 6-pack bottles that were like a foot tall.
Mm-hmm. Were they
They were some
water?
like kind of, they were black packaging, and it was like energy, like super filtered energy water or something. And they wanted like $10 for a 6-pack of these. That was the only water left there. Like people even took LaCroix and shit. Like people were like, I'm not drinking that.
Yeah.
I'll drink LaCroix instead. Christ.
That's hot
But
garbage.
yeah, I don't
too.
know what that stuff was, but that was literally the only thing still on the shelf, and there were like that section was stocked exactly. So it was like, yeah, they have literally sold none of this.
My point is water as long as it's filtered. I mean, I'm not going to say like, you know, tap water is the same as bottled water. No, because there's a bunch of shit in tap water. But
Sure
you know what I'm saying? Like, water is fucking water, and if you think you can taste a difference, you're stupid.
Word.
It's water.
Water. Dip your chicken tenders in
Yeah.
it. Spicy.
Private joke, nobody gets.
It's all right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
you guys want to do a second half?
Totally.
I totally do. I'm going to lube up first.
Good plan.
Do it.
Doing it.
Do it.
Everybody can see you do it?
Do it.
Lube up on the live stream and I'm doing it.
Get it in there, Chuck. Do it.
Delightful.
All right, let's do this. All right. All right, welcome back.
Hey! It's the BMFcast,
Second
second
half.
half of the show.
Yep.
Still here.
Yep.
Still not hurricaned
Right.
yet.
Not so far.
Except when you hear this, the hurricane is gone.
Yeah, probably.
Magic, time travel.
Yep.
Weird.
Uh-huh.
Who watched things?
I watched a couple movies.
Okay.
I watched How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, the third in the
okay.
How to Train Your Dragon series.
Is it the finale?
Yes.
Okay.
The trilogy.
Yes.
How was it? I know you're a fan of the first film.
The first film is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The second one and the third one suffer from the same problem in that the bad guy is the bad guy because he's bad and he's evil, and his motivation is, well, I hate dragons and I'm evil.
Oh.
And that's it. This one, even less depth than the one in the last one. So it's just kind of like, why are we even fucking bothering at this point? And it's why the first one works, because it's his father,
Money.
and he has to make, his father understand that, there's another way of, like, it's not an original story by any means, but the way they tell it and the depth and the character development they give in it makes it work.
Right.
And these don't have any of that. All they really have is Roger Deakins being the visual, consultant, and they look fucking gorgeous, as usual. But I will say the last 10 minutes is fantastic for this because of how they wrap things up, and the epilogue that they have is really, really, really good. But otherwise, the rest of it is just kind of like, yeah, we've kind of done this before, haven't we? And
So good closure, at least.
yes, it's one of those things like, it's based on a series of books. I don't know how many books there were. I don't know, like, if they combined them to, book 2 and 3 made the second movie, and I don't know any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely felt like they're like, all right, like, this is where we wrap it up. But we leave a little tiny sliver of, maybe we can come back to this, But it, as far as the story they're telling before they get to the end, it doesn't really feel like, oh, this is the big epic conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like, oh, we're doing another story. And I guess we're done doing these stories,
Oh, well.
And it I don't know. It's just a little bit odd. But
Do you think there will be...
they apparently had an animated TV series
That's what
as
I was
well,
gonna-
which apparently
Okay.
they reference at one point, like
Okay.
something that happened in those. But
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
I never watched
Okay.
any of that, and obviously the quality of animation is going to be very different for a afternoon cartoon show versus
A major motion picture.
versus we got Roger Deakins. I don't think Roger Deakins was like, all right, here's how you should shoot this one for your Saturday afternoon kids
Right.
show.
Yeah, no, probably not.
Yeah. So
This is DreamWorks, right?
yes.
Okay.
And weird, trivia loves this shit. The IMDb trivia.
Yeah.
In that the first one was, I believe, I forget which studio now. Might have been Paramount. Second one was 20th Century Fox. Third one's Universal.
Oh, so
So they may be making money, but
it's just bouncing from.
yeah, studio to studio.
Well,
I mean, it's still DreamWorks, which
Okay.
DreamWorks has a new logo thing.
Oh, about time.
Yep.
That fishing kid has got to be about
Oh,
35
he's still
years
there.
old. Oh, okay.
They just now he's more animated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm fishing.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I mean, like, if you like those movies, it's worth seeing it. But
Sure.
I still think the first one is the only real essential out of all those.
Is the first one like, say, Star Wars, where it's kind of its own thing and not a sequel?
Yes.
Okay. So I figured.
Yeah. Very much so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, it's more like how to money train your dragon. Am I right? Just keep it going.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
Keep them dragging
I
on.
have no idea if this made any money.
Oh.
I don't think
I mean,
it
I'm
did
sure it-
because I don't remember it coming out. I remember seeing the trailer for it.
Yeah, it came out in like March or April.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Avengers came out, and it was like, oh yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
it got murdered.
Forget all other movies.
Yeah. No other movies happened.
Nope. I also watched Aquaman. That DC movie.
Uh-huh.
Aquaman.
Yeah. That Dolph movie.
Yeah, it has Dolph in it. Dolph is definitely in that movie.
Dolphin.
Dolph confirmed.
You know, like, if it was made by somebody else, it would probably be like the most pure fantasy movie we've had in a very long time, because it's got all the tropes that you'd expect from a fantasy movie, like, you know, the hero's quest, you got to find the special sword, you know, just all that sort of shit in a movie, and that stuff's really good. But fuck, man, James Wan is not a good director. Like, camera has to be moving all the fucking time. There have to be a billion things in frame all the fucking time. It is the most visually cluttered movie I think I've ever watched. I mean, people bitch about Michael Bay, but like the camera movements in this are pointless. Like they're just pointless. And it really is frustrating to watch, because eventually you're just like, this is just fucking noise. Like, there's just noise on screen. I'm like, okay, maybe something's happening. Like, I can't even imagine making this movie. I can't even imagine being one of the animators on this movie, because it's like, I put all this work in this model, and they're like, yeah, well, here's 50,000 other things in the fucking frame. Deal with it, asshole. Good job.
Everything underwater is total chaos. When I watched it, I sat there
constantly
amazed. Like, how are they? How did you even visualize this? Like, how did you conceive?
They
this?
didn't.
Okay.
They just took everything and they're like, all right, just throw it in the fucking background already. How many fish are there? There, put them in there.
Plenty, I've heard.
Double it.
Yeah.
However many you got, fucking double
Yeah.
it.
Quick, Jimmy, how many
I mean-
fish are there?
And yet I still liked it. I mean, that movie's cheesy as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
That is a cheesy as fuck movie, but in a good way. Like, in the cheese I want,
Yeah.
you know? And
I mean, it feels like if it wasn't Jason Momoa, it's like I could very easily see Super Friends Aquaman in that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if it just wouldn't look absolutely goofy for a real life person to be running around with blonde hair and an orange scale mail and, you know, green Speedos.
Yeah.
I mean, just saying, it's that level of goofy. It just happens to be like, here's a
I think when
badass looking dude.
they got to the drumming octopus, I was just like, all right, whatever.
yeah,
Whatever you want to do, that's fine.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of fun stuff in it. I was kind of bummed that the Black Manta stuff is really only one scene. I was hoping for more with that.
It's set up better than it's paid off.
Yes.
Like, when it comes back in, you're almost like, oh, we're doing this now? I thought you were setting up another movie.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's just a total, like, you know, if they're going to get to do a sequel, which they are. I mean, it's like
Oh,
that's
yes.
going to be
Oh, yeah.
100% Black Manta related. It's just,
Probably.
I think I was just like, hey, here's the villain. You know, none of y'all actually know a Aquaman villain, right? Except for this guy, maybe, because you watch Super Friends. Well, we got to show you him, because otherwise you'd be like, hey, where's the guy with the big thing on his head and stuff? And you know, no one knows who the fuck Ocean Master is unless you're like a really an Aquaman fan. You know? So I think that was just like, hey, look, we're aware you're expecting Black Manta. You know, just he's for later. Yeah,
Okay.
if this does well,
Yeah.
I think it worked better maybe on a big screen. Like, just all that noise probably wasn't as. I mean, it was probably just as chaotic, but I think it was visually more easy to take in, perhaps.
Yeah. And I mean, that fight in the submarine works really well.
Oh,
so
that's
it's
a
like,
good fight.
yeah, it's like, it's not always bad, but there's a lot of, like, when people are rushing fast through the ocean and we got to have things warping around them. It's just kind of, it's too much. And the camera movement, like the way it's something that I learned from the animation days when I was doing it way back when, is that you don't have to move the camera just because you can, and he doesn't seem to understand that, or whatever animators are working on stuff for him don't seem to understand that.
Yeah.
I do like that he got his rotate the camera with the guy getting slammed out of the way, like in the first 10 minutes. I'm glad I was like, all right, there it is. All right, now we can move on. Because he does do that shot where he runs with the guy on his shoulders and then slams him into the doorway. I was like, even Jen was like, ow! Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it. I mean, like, to me,
I still liked it. I
Yeah.
just I wish someone else had directed it.
Yeah.
Because I realized I don't like James Wan's, at least Furious 7 and this one, I don't like his style for them.
Well, I mean,
And I'm sure his horror movies are a lot different. Because they would have to be.
vastly different.
Yeah.
Like minimalist filmmaking. It's shocking how different they are.
yeah,
Like how they looked at someone who was making horror movies for $12 and just using piano wire to move things around, and then said, "Here's $150 million, make a giant fish movie." It's crazy.
I think when he does these big budget things, it's like you could replace him with Brett Ratner and McGee. It wouldn't make any difference. Like, I know we give those people shit, but it's like they point the camera, they get the story told, and it comes in under budget. That's why you hire those fuckers.
Yeah.
Yep.
They just have zero visual style to them, and it's like I think that's why we always pick on them. It's like fucking Brett Ratner. It's like, well, of those I just listed, he's probably more of a hack.
It's because they give Brett Ratner stuff people care about.
Right, and that's what I mean.
That's what happened. That's the problem with him.
Yeah,
And he's an asshole.
that too. Yes,
But-
it's kind of all of the above.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, it's like there are certain big budget movie people that just have, besides this spinny camera thing, it's like I couldn't name a trait that makes something a James Wan movie. Like he has nothing that it's like. I think that's why he leans into that because people have recognized my little spinny camera move. Well, I guess I got to keep doing that. That's my trademark because it's like other than that, it's like you got fucking nothing, buddy. Like there's nothing about you that says good directors. You can just be like, I can tell you who directed that just by if somehow you took this memory out of my brain and showed me a movie. You could do the Pepsi challenge and be like, yeah, this person made that because I recognize their style. I could recognize a Coen Brothers movie if you just said, who made this movie? And I'd never heard of it. I'd just be like, well, it's a Coen Brothers movie. See this right here? And
Yeah.
That's a Wes Anderson movie. See how everything's perfectly in frame? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's fun, but I don't even know how you make any of that underwater shit look good ever.
Yeah.
Like with the floaty hair and just all that, and like Dolph with red hair is just weird in itself.
Kinda, but still
Yeah.
good for Dolph.
Yeah.
Dolph having a little bit of a resurgence.
Yeah.
The lung renaissance, as I said before.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, eventually I'll have to watch his horror stuff, but mainstream other shit, no, thank you. I don't think he gets why that stuff works. I think he knows how to imitate it, but he doesn't understand how the composition and how the movement actually works.
Is he doing the sequel, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. He's not above doing sequels, that's for sure.
No, I know. The first Insidious and the first The Conjuring are two of my favorite modern horror movies. I know, Harlow, I know you don't like them. Having just watched them both again recently, I have fully cemented that those two are just top of the hill modern type stuff that's effective and works.
Oh, I mean, they have scenes that are super effective. I just feel like when it gets to the end of his horror movies, just is like, I don't know. It's going to be dark, and you're not going to really know what's going on, and things will be resolved. Don't get me wrong. Like, painting a scene, the tension of a horror movie, fantastic. A master of those.
Yeah.
Of, like, I have established this thing, it's weird, like the little clappy game and the Conjuring, or things like that. It's like, we have established that we do this, and then it's going to come back and be creepy later, and, tension building.
Yeah.
It's like, that stuff's masterful. Like I said, I just feel like all of his movies at the end, it's just like, it's over. And what happened in the last 20 minutes? I have no idea. It was dark.
The thing about the second Insidious movie and the second Conjuring movie is that they are both lesser than their original. However, if there had not been the original movie, both those movies would be fantastic. It's like they are not as good as the original, only because the original exists.
Yeah. It's that grading on a curve thing.
Yeah. And then both those franchises got turned over to other people and went south. So,
All right.
but yeah, I if you are ever itching for modern day horror that is not fucking trash,
Yeah.
Insidious and The Conjuring, please watch them.
Okay.
Also, there's some others like Sinister.
Sinister also.
Sinister's fantastic.
Yeah. I would throw that in there too, even though it's not James Wan.
No, it's not. I'm just throwing out other good modern horror movies.
Yes.
And Lights Out is way better than it should be for being a fucking PG-13 thing based on a 5-minute short. Anyway.
Yep. I watched a movie.
All right. Please do tell.
You already talked about it. You talked about Rocket Man either last week
I
or
did.
the week before. That movie is an achievement. Like I just, well, I don't know what I expected going into it. Like even after listening to you talk about it, I was just like, I still don't know what this is. It's something. It's really something. And for someone who thought that the Bohemian Rhapsody was okay, like I liked it, I thought it was fine. This makes that movie look like a piece of shit. Like this is like, oh, that's how you tell a musical story. Like Bohemian Rhapsody is just this watered down, just like everything's fine, man. Just we're just falling up. We're Queen. It's cool. You know, this is like there was one point in this I turned to my wife and was like, he was okay with this. Like Elton John was. I know he like produced. It was signed off on all this, but like, holy shit, like. This is not making him look good at all, and I realize it's part of the process of just being like, here's the asshole I was. I'm sorry. But yeah, this is not a flattering look. This is not a any kind of, you know, glossed over like everything's fine. This is
I feel like in some fashion, like having a movie like that made while the person's still alive might be a benefit.
I didn't think so at first. Like when it started, I was like, I don't know if you want to tell someone's story while they're still alive, because that seems like there would be some direct like.
Because wasn't Ray completed before Ray Charles died?
I believe it was.
I think it was.
But yeah, it's a remarkable
Or
achievement.
maybe it was the Johnny Cash one. One of the two was like still was done before they
maybe
died.
both.
Yeah.
But like, what's love got to do with it? Was like, you know, obviously Tina Turner's still alive now, so. But yeah, and like the Crocodile Rock scene, like you were saying, that's something.
Yeah.
Like that is really something. Just everything they do with the music in that is surprisingly well done. There's just a molecule of glee-ness in it to where you're just like, stop. But other than that,
Yeah, I hope I didn't like turn any way, because I know people have very strong feelings, too strong of feelings one way or another when someone mentions Across the Universe. But like that movie has a visual style and fucking goes for it, and that's what I'm saying. It's like it's the boldness. Either you're with it or you're not, or you just fucking hate the Beatles. Whatever it is, like you can have plenty of reasons for hating that movie.
Yeah.
Or just like, how dare you turn that song into this? Whatever reason, I'm just saying, like Across the Universe fucking goes for it, and this movie does too. Especially in the like opening 20 minutes where it's just like almost one continuous musical. You know, like I was just like, that's what I was trying to get at. I'm not trying to be like, I fucking hate Across the Universe. Well, it's not that. It's not. It doesn't stray that far outside of the
right.
You know, craziness.
And I mean, it takes a lot of liberties with time. There are songs that are used that are like, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to make it seem like that song was supposed to fit this exact moment in time. No.
I mean, they kind of explain it away by the record guy just being like, no, not that.
Right.
And it's just like, well, okay, so he brought it back up again later when he's famous, and obviously they're like, well, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just like when he's just pitching like 6 well-known songs in a row, and the guy's like, garbage.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Yeah. But just like using songs like Rocket Man to... This movie has a very specific rationale behind that song, and it's not what that song was written to be at all. Not at all.
Some of that misinterpretation going on.
Yeah, but it's fine. It works for this. It whenever they do that, it's like, oh, all right, yes. So they use "I'm Still Standing" at a point where it's like, nope, that's incorrect. Not accurate.
So it's what I figured Bohemian Rhapsody was going to be. Where it was like, this song's about this, even though it wasn't.
Kind of. But Bohemian Rhapsody is just so almost detached from the music part of it. Like this... Rocket Man is really about like just how powerful music can be. Like there is just like a song can hit you and it's transcending. And that's kind of what this movie is about. Like the complete like crash and burn of Elton John during his career is obviously the driving force behind the storytelling, but like whenever music is involved in the movie, it is wow, music is powerful. So
Okay.
it is really worth watching.
Yeah.
I might watch that one.
Okay.
I'd watch that before I watch Bohemian Rhapsody. So
Well,
there's
well,
that.
we assume you will never watch Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
You assume correctly.
Yeah. So don't.
I've
watch
seen that one scene with the editing that everyone posts on Twitter.
That didn't even bother me. That there's.
Yeah.
But yes, what
Indeed.
watch Rocket Man. You should watch Rocket Man because it's a good movie. It's made well.
It's a good movie.
Yes.
An enjoyable,
As
good
in,
movie.
Go there, not stay away.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to go there.
Right.
I'm supposed to talk about. I have no transition off of that.
Okay.
I've been watching some TV.
Cool.
Yeah. That's all I've been doing. I decided to catch up on some things that I've been missing. I watched all of season 2 of Cobra Kai, finally.
Yeah.
All right.
How does it measure up to season 1?
I don't think it's as good as season 1 because I think it was fresh, and season 1 has this weird thing where it starts one way and then starts slowly subverting your expectations towards the end of the season. And I feel like that just works really well. Like the beginning of Cobra Kai is like if Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother was allowed to make a show, that's what Cobra Kai would be.
Okay.
For anyone that watches the show, he often points to movies where someone is clearly the villain and says like, no, they're the hero. And sometimes when when he talks about him, it's like, actually, you're right. Like the Iceman being the villain of, or being the hero of Top Gun, and
Oh yeah, that's clear.
in some ways, Johnny Lawrence being the good guy of the Karate Kid. Like
So he galaxy brains everyone.
kind of. I mean, it's more like like he makes some good points though. It's like well, actually, like this kid trained his entire life to be good at karate. This kid comes from New Jersey, and in like 2 weeks, like beats him with an illegal kick to the face. Like
That's not Daniel's fault.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's,
He did walk into it.
I do.
anyway, but season 2 of Cobra Kai is still good. It's just like I said, there was a freshness about the first season. Like there's nothing about the show that should be good at all. That's what's kind of
Yeah,
fascinating
it's
about
real
this.
weird that it's
like-
doing as well as it is.
Yeah. I still like what they're doing in season 2. It ends on like a note where I was just like, oh, fuck. Like, I mean, it was just like the first one ended and it's like, yeah, all right, that's how you end it. And this one ended the season and it was like, oh wow, shit just got real for a place that was like about karate schools.
Yeah, I was gonna say, should it be getting real?
Oh, it got real fucking real. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of like awesome, like, yeah, the 80s were awesome where we were just making karate movies and shit like that. It's like there's still plenty of moments throughout the season where it's just like, oh yeah, like just a love letter to the 80s about times being simpler. And I will kind of never get tired of William Zabka just like acting like he stepped out of a time machine from the 80s, where he's like, I don't want to spoil anything particularly important about the season, but there's one where like Daniel Son is like gonna start up like fucking Daniel LaRusso. I can't call him fucking Daniel Son.
Daniel Son.
He's gonna start
That's
back up.
his new last name. He legally changed his name to Daniel San.
Yeah.
Son.
But like he's gonna start up his own rival dojo basically, and like he's a successful car dealer and all this shit, so he's got money. So like he produces like this well-made commercial and puts it out on like YouTube and shit. So it's like it's all for the kids and everything. Like where the kids aren't fucking watching TV, they're watching YouTube. So and it's like hashtag blah 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 whatever. And then like Johnny sees this and like, oh god damn it, we got to make a commercial. And he's like, and then put like hash brown no mercy at the end or something like that.
Yeah, hash brown.
And I just love it. Like he's like stepped out of like time machine and doesn't understand technology or anything. It's
Well, he was down on his luck.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a show that's just surprisingly extremely worth watching. And I still think the first 2 episodes are free, which is going to hook you in if you're a Karate Kid fan. I'm telling you right now.
So they brought Martin Cove back in here.
I was about to say I was going to be vague and say they brought they're continuing the Karate Kid movie thing. Like they have now referenced all 3 Karate Kid movies in some form or fashion.
All 3?
All 3.
Are there bonsai trees in this?
Yeah, well, IMDb kind of gives it away. Martin Cove's in one of the main shots
Okay.
for it.
All right.
Okay.
Well, yes, Martin Cove that was a teaser at the end of the first season.
Okay,
that
that's
he walks back in,
All right.
and then he's in season 2. But they actually referenced that Karate Kid 3 did in fact happen at some point because there's even a flashback with the ponytail guy.
Really?
Yeah. And
Wow.
No Hilary Swank references so far, but
Aw.
there's still time.
She could walk in at the end of season
She
3
could.
and be like, hey,
No.
boys.
Yeah, hot or not? What do you think?
She died in the ring.
She died in the ring.
She died in the ring.
She
They
watched
can't
the
bring her
video.
back.
She wasn't in the ring.
7 days. She died. I thought she died in the core, or the ring's outside the core, right? It goes ring,
Sure.
mantle,
Stop
core.
it. Stop this.
Yeah, well, I mean, Clint pulled the plug. He had to.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, Flags for Our Fathers. She was in that.
I'm trying to get Jen to start watching. Speaking of 80s revivals,
Go on.
I'm trying to get her to start watching the new Dark Crystal series.
I've been dancing around that. I've been pretty close.
There have been so many people who are like, dude,
Yeah.
it's actually really good. And apparently Louis Leterrier, this was like his dream project.
Oh, yeah?
Like the transporter guy.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I thought that's
yeah,
what you
and
said.
Incredible Hulk.
Right, in the Incredible. Oh,
And
right.
what is it? What's the Jet Li one?
Didn't he also do Now You See Me? Was that him too?
Yeah, he did the first one. Yeah, he
Which
kind of lost his way for a bit there.
Well, if you'd done the second one, it might have been called Now You Don't.
yeah,
Motherfuckers. I'm
Yep.
still angry about that.
you know what?
I'm going to be angry about that for the end till the end
You're
of time.
right. You're 1,000% right.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean,
Yeah.
nobody asked for a sequel.
But
they
I,
did make.
yeah, but I want to watch that just because, hearing that it was basically his dream project to be able to make this makes me go, all right. Like someone who actually has talent and really is given a budget and actually wants to do this, that kind of that gets me interested.
All right, I have a question, and I'm probably after talking highly about good '80s movies, I'm going to lose a lot of street cred. But I've never liked The Dark Crystal, the movie.
It's not perfect. That's for
I
sure.
mean,
We watched
style-wise,
it at the
yeah.
Sunray a few years back. Were you with us when we went to see that? It was like a midnight showing, I think.
I think I specifically was like, "Nah, I'm good," because I've never liked that movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, love Labyrinth, love
Yeah.
Neverending Story, all these other Muppet shit.
It's just
I'm-
one of
I'm
those
down
where
with.
they've built that world so thoroughly and the puppeteering is so good that it that's what sells so much of it for me.
I think it just, to me, it falls a little bit on that, again, I'll just alienate everybody. It falls a little bit like that Night Before Christmas thing. It's it's good, but people's total filleting of it forever is no, it's not as good as you think it is. It's fine. It's just it's not that good, and you need to calm down about it.
Well, it's like they all watched it everyone watched it when we were young.
Yeah.
And that's why there's that whole dude, this is the best.
Mm-hmm.
My
just
my
wonder
wife's always talking about how much she loves Neverending Story, and I'm like, all right. She watched it at the right time, I guess.
that one's still good though.
Yeah. Okay.
I've gone back and watched that one. I've tried Dark Crystal later, and maybe it's time for me to try it again and make my decision whether I'm just curious how it plays for people who didn't like the movie. but-
I've not seen it since I was a kid.
Okay.
And I liked it, but it freaked my shit out.
Oh yeah,
I was
it's scary.
Yeah, the
as fuck, too.
Skeksis are pretty fucked up.
I was too young when that movie came out, but I was like, yay, Muppets. And then I was like, oh, God, they're melting.
Mom, rent this movie called Meet the Feebles for me. I like Muppets.
Yeah. So I'm curious, but I also want to go back and rewatch The Dark Crystal. So
All right, let's have a party. We'll watch Dark Crystal together.
Woo, Dark Crystal Party.
The saddest party. We'll listen to Cure afterwards and
Okay.
shoot some heroin.
We'll be emo.
Yeah, I think that's all you have to do for all those things. Right?
Yeah. Then we
Dude.
watch The Crow again.
Sounds awesome.
Doesn't it?
When? When are we doing this?
Not soon enough, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel anything anymore.
Man.
Yeah.
So you got anything else?
No.
Or
That,
do
oh
we
no.
just
One,
need to end on
one
that
other,
note?
I mean, one other quick thing. Just
Yeah.
I don't have an opinion yet, other than I am on board and I'm watching Breaking Bad, and
Oh,
this
really?
time I'm in.
Okay.
How far have you gotten?
Not far. I'm in. This time I started, I was like,
Now it
it's
hooks in you?
It's hitting me.
Okay, good.
It's now working.
All right. Then you're in.
Enough time has passed where again
The hype.
yes, I mean like I said, it's when. It's why I as much as I want to apothesize Firefly, I'm just not gonna. I did it for a little while and fuck that shit, because the more you tell people to watch it, the more they're gonna hate it when they do. And so it's I've been guilty of it, and I try not to do it, and it's I
yeah,
was
you
like,
can't overhype it.
right. And now I'm like, please, people, just shut up about Breaking Bad for 6 months to a year, and then I will watch it, enjoy it, and put your constant, like, it's the best show ever out of my head.
Mm-hmm.
And all that aside, I'm watching it, I'm in.
To be fair, it's not the best show ever.
Oh, okay.
Better Call Saul might be better.
Probably the only person on the planet said it, but I reserve
Mm-hmm.
my right to join you or chastise you later.
I just love that they stealth made the movie. Like the Breaking Bad movie comes out in October,
Yeah.
Oh, good.
so you need to speed up.
I think I can probably get there.
There's really
Yeah.
not that many episodes.
No.
I think there's only like 60.
I want to say it's 68.
It's so weird when you look at the because like it was such a long period of time. You forget that the seasons were pretty short.
Yeah.
Because like wow, that show was on forever, and they're like, yeah, there's not that many,
Mm-hmm.
and it's compact. I mean, it's like, you know, the second season is kind of meandering because they didn't know where they were going.
Mm-hmm.
But once they get out of that,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It really, it's like once Gus shows up, that's when it's just like, all right, here's where the rides really kicks in.
Yeah.
So.
Excellent. I'm in. If we weren't doing this right now, I'd be watching more of it.
Oh, good.
then yeah, good. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
I-
And it will, but you will benefit from watching it, like, basically marathoning it.
Oh yeah, like I mean, that's the thing is like, I think before maybe I just wasn't completely invested. So like I'm only like 2 or 3 or 4 episodes in. I'm really noticing the amazing camera stuff. Like I'm noticing the technical aspects this time I'm watching it. Like there's really good use of camera angles and lighting and color and things like that. I just was not paying any attention to before. Like,
Yeah.
I mean it may even be in the first episode. There's that shot where he's got the gun. It's it's like the opening shot of the thing where he's like got the gun outside the Winnebago and like hears the sirens coming, and then there's that shot where it's like it's clear that they've like put the gun on some sort of steady mount because the gun never moves, and like he's kind of shaking as it goes up. It's just like it's funky things like that. It's like, oh damn, like I had to actually like hop back and like watch that again because I was like, oh okay, clearly the gun's on some sort of stabilizer tripod or something like that. And
They're going to
Yeah.
do a lot of that.
Yeah.
When they get into montages, that's when you're like, okay, these guys are fucking geniuses.
sure,
Yep.
but I mean like the end of like one episode, it's like crazy shit goes down and like he goes home to have sex with his wife, and then it's like the very next episode it's like and like they just wrapped up, and it's like that kind of thing. It's like, wow, how did that work episodically from week to week? Like just literally like ending on the final thrust of the boning session. Like that's
Right.
That's a really weird like transition from week to week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I need Bob Odenkirk to stop giving quotes about the last season of Better Call Saul to people.
Is next season the last one?
The one that they're finishing up now is
Yeah.
it. He just keeps saying like, "You thought it was devastating before.
Eh.
Get ready." And I'm like, "No."
Yeah, I never finished season 4, and it expired off my PlayStation Vue DVR.
Oh.
And AMC, you have to buy their service to see any of their old stuff.
Don't
so.
you have Netflix? It's all on Netflix, isn't it?
Is Better Call Saul
Yeah.
on there yet?
Yeah. I don't know about everything, but it is on there because when I searched Breaking Bad, it was right next to it.
Okay.
Those
Well,
are-
it might
those
be
are-
only the first 3 seasons.
Those
I
are
don't
only
know.
like the
AMC's been really weird. Like I
Yeah.
don't
They
understand
hang
how
on to
they
their shit for a while.
Yeah, I don't understand how they function because like you would think like, hey, Better Call Saul's coming back, and they'd be like, yeah, you can watch season 1 and 2, but 3's not out there. It'll just be really strange like that.
I just noted that like it's one of the only non-Netflix shows / movies that's in 4K.
Yeah.
Like both of those
Oh.
episodes series on Netflix.
It's only the first 3 seasons on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I thought you said the 4th one was coming. The
The
5th
fifth
coming?
one's coming.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did the 4th one earlier
All
this
right,
year.
so you might have to buy a season somewhere else.
Yeah, I think I watched the first 4 episodes and just
You need to finish it.
I was in a dark place
Well-
personally. And that's the problem with watching that show is like I'm like, man, my life sucks enough right now. I don't need to see other people's whose lives suck. It's kind of like when we were talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. We're just like, man, life sucks. I don't need to play a video game where life sucks.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with the TV show. It's like I don't need to watch someone get crushed.
I've hit the point it's like the blues. I'm just embracing it. I'm like, well, at least my life's not that shitty.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of doing that. Like
I
mean,
need to get in that mindset
There is
and go back to season 4.
there is a layer of just emotional devastation that is a part of Better Call Saul that it's like on paper you'd be like, why would I want to watch that? But it's like this is the most compelling thing, and it is breaking my heart. Like
Yeah. Well, because they keep giving little victories where you're like, oh, it's going to turn it around. And they're like, nope, absolutely not.
absolutely not.
That's not going to work out.
Okay, so obviously the Dark Crystal show is a prequel, and maybe that is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe that's bucking the trend, but without having not seen that, Better Call Saul is the best prequel anything ever. Like, prequels always fall into a trap of just like, we got to get from point A to point B, and you know it's coming. And this show doesn't. It just completely all conventions of prequels thrown out the window.
What about Fargo? You really like Fargo, right?
Yeah, but Fargo's not Fargo related.
It's not?
It's name only. The
Oh.
Fargo is basically a Coen Brothers love letter
Okay.
that's vaguely Fargo-esque, but it has nothing to do with Fargo whatsoever.
I thought maybe it was eventually going to get there.
No. Like,
Okay.
each season is a different town. Like,
Oh.
it's just...
Wasn't the first season kind of like a loose remake of the movie over an episodic season?
No.
Okay.
Not really. Like,
yeah, that was when I was like, I need to watch that, and just never did.
there are constant tributes to Coen Brothers movies throughout Fargo, but it is not real, and it uses the music and the title, but it's not really.
People need to calm down with like making good shows. I mean, just a little bit.
I kind of agree.
Like, I mean, like just hold back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. Because like, there's so many shows now. It's like,
We
oh,
need
you
more
need to watch.
time.
You need to watch this, and I'm like, oh yeah, I hear Mr. Robot's good. I haven't any fucking time to watch that too.
Mr. Robot is good, and I haven't had time to watch
Yeah.
any of it.
I watched a
You
little
watched,
bit.
you watched the first season.
I
right?
watched. Yeah, maybe I watched the entire first season. I saw some of the first season. I don't know if I saw it all.
I
But it
watched
was-
the entire first season, and then like there have been 3 more seasons since, and I'm just like, nah,
Yeah, it's just it's like, oh, stop it.
yeah.
It's even worse if you're a superhero fan because like Jesus Christ,
Mm-hmm.
there's a new one every week.
Yeah.
I mean, not just like new episodes. I mean, like a whole new show. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm in. Also, just talking about Bob Odenkirk, I rewatched the with Bob and David thing, the weird little mini Netflix reunion show.
Mm-hmm.
That there's a really solid. Like, I think I didn't truly appreciate the nature of like coming back to that and like reassembling everybody.
Right.
Like when I first watched it through, I was just like, that's just not as good as the show. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just recently did another Mr. Show marathon. I do that periodically, like every few years, and
I'm in the middle of one
yeah,
as well.
and I just was like, oh yeah, I forgot that was the thing. I should watch that because it's only like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still really good.
I-
Also, last thing, and I swear I'm not like pimping Netflix as I usually say. I end up there and stay on there sometimes. But I watched Dave Chappelle's new thing.
Yeah?
Yeah,
How's that?
you should watch it.
Okay.
I mean, apparently it's pissing a lot of people off, and then which is funny because like right in he's like, I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, but and like says the thing anyway. But yeah, it's kind of fascinating to watch somebody with his stature just being in the just don't give a fuck mode that he's in. It's kind of amazing. Like, also, dude, you really need to stop smoking cigarettes. Like that,
Is he vaping all through this one too, or is he actually smoking cigarettes?
I just mean his voice is
Is
fucking
wrecked.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he also got jacked between the last two, like his last special in this. Like, he's working out. Like,
Sure,
he's
okay,
a
that's-
monster
He's
now.
been jacked for a while now.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Okay.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like his, like, he is aging rapidly, and like, I know it's been a while since like Chappelle's show and stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, he's like Richard Dreyfuss aging right now. It's just like, dude, like, stop.
Oh no.
Yeah,
You're gonna die.
like I know you're like not a spring chicken, but you're not as old as you sound and appear sometimes. You know, just like, ugh. And now he's not going to listen to this. I'm just saying, like, it's like I'm
Dude,
concerned.
listen.
I'm concerned.
I'm concerned for you,
Yeah,
Dave.
I'm concerned. Like, we need your voice here and there still sometimes.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff he says he is with his raspy voice. It's like it's bordering on like, all right, stop at the old man. Like, it's time to get woke, Dave Chappelle. But it's like some of the things he says. But it's like it's also still it's in the name of comedy. He's not mean about it. I don't think. Anyway,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I saw his last special, to be honest.
well, he's had what 3 or 4 on Netflix now.
Yeah.
he did. He dropped
this
2
is the third one. He
yeah.
dropped the 2 at the same
same
time.
time. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's out there. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Anyway,
right.
that's all.
Yeah.
So,
people want to get in touch with us. Go to BMFcast.com. Everything we want is on the side of the page for all the socials and all that. I've got a Discord link. Got some chat happening
yeah.
with the fans
Right.
and us. When those of us who can be bored at work and type stuff will type stuff.
yeah, we will interact with you.
Yeah. You want to give us a call on the Garfield phone, 910-5JOCKS-BMF, 910-556-9263. Call, leave a message.
Right.
And lastly,
but not leastly,
no, not at all. If you want to help us monetarily and get bonus stuff,
Oh, yeah.
go to patreon.com/BMFcast. Got various levels of patronship. $5 levels where it's at currently because you get extra shows like Doctor Who U and plenty of other things. $1 still gets you early access to BMFcast Extra. Every once in a while we'll put up bonus BS. It's sporadic, but they show up.
Yeah, if we have got some good BS, it'll...
Us goofing. Just doing dumb shit.
Clowning.
just being big goofs.
Yeah. Big silly goofs.
Yeah, because people, you know, we record for a little while before the show starts, so sometimes we say some really, really stupid stuff before
Yes.
we even put the live stream on. So
And then sometimes during.
yeah. Sometimes you just want to keep it for posterity. But anyway,
Yep.
all that stuff's there. So check it out.
Don't forget, we are now on
Oh, we're on Spotify.
Spotify.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So if you use Spotify for podcasts, subscribe to us on Spotify or follow or like whatever the
Do
fuck
we have
their
a
thing
shiny
is.
new button on the website?
There's going to be.
Oh, okay.
I haven't implemented it
But
yet.
you can just search in Spotify.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
find
just-
us.
And you can add it to your subscriptions. And they do have speed adjustments on
speed too?
Spotify. Yeah. You can do whatever, up to 3 times speed, I think.
Oh.
Which I couldn't even imagine listening to us at 3 times speed.
Never mind.
Yeah.
It's
My brain can adjust to 2 times with most of them, but not everything. But
No.
yeah,
Does it
once
actually-
you get past 2 times,
This isn't actually chipmunky at all, does it?
No.
Maybe just a little bit.
it's
I don't know how it works.
I mean, we all talk fast for being Southern gentlemen anyway.
we are a pretty fast talking podcast to the point where I usually listen to podcasts at 1.25 speed just for efficiency. Listening to us at 1.25 speed is unnerving. I
wait,
want to yell at
the
us
best
and
is
say, "Shut the fuck up."
So many of them I listen to at 2 times speed, and then when I put it at 1, everyone sounds drunk.
Sure.
You know, like Jeff Goldblum
Yeah.
on the Apple commercials. Yeah. So,
I like internet.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
either way, it has those tools. If that's why you're not using Spotify, but you know, whatever.
if you
we
want
just want you to
to-
listen to us.
We're there.
Some people, it's easier on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, man.
That is it.
Yeah. So,
So should we get out of here?
I think we should. I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck.
This is BMFcast out. Did what?
You said the thing.
I said the thing. Am I supposed to say motherfuckers? or
No.
something after?
No.
My ears.
My ears.
I think I might be feeling a Patreon bumper inside me.
Well, get that shit out.
I'm just saying. See if I can make my mouth work with my brain. Hasn't been doing that very well today. Hey everyone, it's hurricane season. So before you blow away, go blow some of your money by giving it to us at patreon.com/BMFcast.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Reuse it every fall.
Right.
Reuse it every fall.
What?
Just it's a great big fat Patreon.
not.
Are we doing? Are we Ted Levining again?
I don't know, maybe.
Always. Never
stop
Ted
Maybe you could follow me on Twitter. All right. Well, time to drive home in the rain. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Time to get some Taco Bell in the rain if they're still open. Yeah, tell
Favorite
me
Prince
about
song. Getting Taco Bell in the rain.
it. Yeah.
This is what it sounds like when gorditas cry.
Nailed it. So what's with the TV?
It's my old TV.
What's it doing in here? I thought you put it in your bedroom or something.
No, it's. Oh, I'm gonna turn off the live stream because this might be inside baseball stuff in a second.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Night.